Did you ever think you would make it? I feel I'm so close I could taste sweet victory. I know this life meant for me.
Adam, what's your point? The future looks bright.
My handshake is better than anything I ever saw. It's right here.
You are a one-on-one?
My son's right about
I don't think I've ever said this before.
All of it. Folks, if you're tuning in, you watched one of two things last night. You either watched the Grammys or you didn't. You watched Nicki Minaj's tweets. Because apparently Nicki Minaj's tweets calling out the people at Grammys got more eyeballs, except for Jelly Roll winning and the speech that he gave, which was incredible. And we'll get into that as well. I don't know if it was as incredible as Heidi Klum's incredible dress that Tom called. What did you call that dress,
A full
Tom?
body cast, like they give you if you've been seriously injured in the hospital.
A full body cast, yes. And then a few things happened yesterday with Panama Canal that we have to talk about. It's very, very big. It's one of our top 5 stories. We have to talk about Epstein with what was released. It's insane, some of the stuff. Insane, some of the stuff that are in there. And the whole team, Vinny's got a bunch of stuff he wants to talk about it, which we'll go to Vinny and Tom on that. And then aside from that, we have the government shutdown with Tom Homan and DHS wanting the funding. And they say they have the votes to do it with or without them. So it's a temporary shutdown, maybe for 2 weeks until they get it squared away and they get all the approvals. The left wants the ICE to wear cameras and no masks. So we'll see what's going to happen there. Bunch of stuff that's going on. And we got a couple business stories. So let me kind of go through this. And if you're cold, freezing like we are, hang tight. We have a solution for you. It is freezing. We were promised global warming. What is this all about? We thought it was going to get warmer. For a guy that grew up in Iran, I like the average temperature to be around 120 degrees. I feel like we're in Greenland right now. I'm in Fort Lauderdale. The podcast being on from Fort Lauderdale. It's the coldest it's ever been. My guy this morning, Mike, he comes in picking me up. He's freezing his ass off. I said, how often is it this cold? He says, no, it doesn't get this cold. Maybe once in my lifetime in Miami, not this cold, so it's freezing right now. Hope you guys are staying warm. Okay. Trump claims Minnesota fraud exceeds $19 billion, faults Biden administration. Trump is suing the IRS for over $10 billion. Can you imagine suing the IRS for $10 billion for leaking your information to the people? He's suing one of his own organizations right now for, I don't know how that works out. It'll be the first time that's ever happened. Trump says Kristi Noem is doing a great job and is being attacked because she's a woman. Disney's Bob Iger plans to step down before contract expires at the end of the year. Tom, maybe you and I will do a quick little thing on that here. Just remind me if we get to it. Yep. And then Trump says he wants to drive housing prices up, not down. Says, I don't want prices to go down. I want the prices to go up. So for some of you guys that are thinking about buying real estate, his motive is to drive it up. This is a Vinny story. Detransitioner wins $2 million after 3-week groundbreaking medical malpractice lawsuit. She says she was brainwashed into transitioning, and then allegedly she gets $2 million. Gavin Newsom says he's burdened by the fact as he criticizes California's wealth tax proposal. He's got to make up his mind who he wants to please and how he wants to run instead of trying to constantly play politics. LinkedIn under fire after pro-ICE post removed as hateful. Noem says her response to the Pretty shooting may have been wrong. I talked about that one. Panama, we talked about. The U.S. is set for mass unemployment. If we got time, we'll get into that. And then over here, couple of the addendum stories. We got to go through the Grammy one. California influencer testifies fraud in California is likely worse than Minnesota fraud. That's Nick Shirley confronts San Diego daycare. And then you got a couple other ones. Your Boston mayor who claims every single human on earth has legal right to come to U.S. And then we got a couple other things with Mamdani, the $12 billion that he says we need $12 billion. We'll address that. Gavin Newsom shoots down claim $236 million program for California. Mentally ill has helped just 22 people in 4 years. So it costs him $236 million to help 22 people. That's $10 million a person, Vinny. I mean, it's a pretty bad program to see what they're doing. And then one of the Grammy winners, she got up and she said, we're living on stolen island.
Billie Eilish.
Billie
who
Eilish.
won
Is she kind
Song
of a
of
big
the
deal,
Year.
or is she the number one?
She's a big deal, but she's a big deal in the woke left world. She's the biggest.
And then I saw this guy coming out and saying, well, Billy, I appreciate that. I found that you live on the water in Malibu. Since you're also living on a stolen island, I'm coming to your house to stay over. Thank you. I'm on my way.
Appreciate that.
So I love that whole thing that's taking place. Anyways, guys, if you're watching this, if you're cold like we are and you want to wear a sweater, you just don't know what you want that sweater to represent, we have options for you, okay? We have an entire section because of the amount of messages we got saying we need hoodies with PBD podcast on it, Future Looks Bright on it, and of course the Vinny Here Am I, Send Me, Faith Over Fear, the VT logo. You pick and choose. Ladies, Team USA, any of that stuff, and even the 250-year anniversary for U.S. Go pick and choose. Wear your hoodies. Put on the sport of Future Looks Bright. Represent while you're going out there freezing your tail off. At least these hoodies will keep you warm and excited about the fact that we have this now set up for everybody. Rob, do me a favor. Put the link below for everybody to go order, no matter what it is. Place an order for a hoodie for yourself, for your family members, for your friends, for your peers. It is definitely getting cold. 150 million Americans are freezing their tails off. And by the way, for those of you guys, the other 35% of listeners that don't live in America, I am sure it's cold where you are as well. So order a hoodie for yourself. All right, let's get right into it. Epstein Files. I heard this recording, Vinny, that you and I were talking about a few minutes ago.
Yep.
It's a recording of Epstein sitting down with Ehud Barak, who was the former prime minister of Israel.
Yep.
And they're having a conversation about what to do and how to make money. By the way, the amount of stories and the list of names of people that are on this is endless. Okay, it's endless. Rob, do we have a page with the names of people that are on it? There it is. The famous names in the latest release of Epstein Files, Wall Street Journal. Okay, Wall Street Journal. So let me go through this.
And Pat, while you're doing that, if you think about it, he's sitting with Ehud Barak and having dinner, and I don't think Ehud Barak knows that he's recording everything because that's what he does.
Oh, no question about it. And by the way, I want to spend time on that, but prior to that, let's first kind of talk about who's on. Rob, is this WSJ, Wall Street Journal, the video clip that you have? Reporting on that article. Go for it.
Growing as new details emerge from the millions of newly released Justice Department records on convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. They include Epstein's messages with powerful men. In these messages from 2013, the convicted sex offender connecting New York Giants co-owner Steve Tisch with various women. In one exchange, Tisch asked about a woman writing pro or civilian. In a statement, Tisch acknowledging a brief association where we exchanged emails about adult women, but saying I did not take him up on any of his invitations and never went to his island. As we all know now, he was a terrible person and someone I deeply regret associating with. And amongst the thousands of photos, these never-before-seen images of former Prince Andrew, who was stripped of his royal titles last year over his relationship with Epstein. Now seen here, crouched over a young woman, her face redacted, the date and context of the interaction unclear. Representatives for Andrew have not responded to a request for comment. Now, even UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer is calling for Andrew to testify, saying, I have always said anybody who has got information should be prepared to share that information in whatever form they are asked to do that. And new information unearthed on what exactly law enforcement knew about Epstein's crimes, including this stunning prosecution memo and draft indictment written nearly 2 decades ago. Across 45 pages, prosecutors in Florida detailing disturbing evidence they gathered against the financier, calling him, quote, a continued danger to the community based upon his continued enticement of underage girls. But that 60-count indictment never filed. Instead, Epstein landing a now infamous deal allowing him to plead guilty to lesser state prostitution charges, for which he served just 13 months in a Florida jail. Some of Epstein's victims now furious with the Justice Department, saying many of their names were left unredacted and exposed in this latest release. Epstein survivor Charlene Rochard telling me the Justice Department has once again violated their privacy.
I have seen things that relate to me, and people I know have not been redacted at all. Their full names are out there, and especially Jane Doe's are fully out there. And they asked,
you can pause it. Okay. So, by the way, that is one of the things when they release this, you're going to have a ton of lawsuits. You're going to have a ton of, watch how many people are going to be suing the U.S. government. Vinny, which one do we want to go first? But let's do this. So, first of all, yesterday at the Grammys, Trevor Noah said the following joke about the president, and I want you to know how quickly the president reacted to this after the joke. Rob, I texted it to you in the morning if you want to look it up in the text, Rob, when I texted everything this morning. You see it? Yep. I'm going to put a thumbs up. It's that one right there. If you can pull that up. So this is Trevor Noah at the Grammys. You know, he's trying to pull off a Ricky Gervais, which, by the way, he fell very short because Ricky Gervais probably hands down the best one ever when he said, this is the last time. I don't care. I don't care anymore. I never did. You know, all that stuff that he did. Noah's trying to do something like this, but he does this joke about Epstein with the president and Clinton. Watch this. Go ahead, Rob.
Grammy that every artist wants, almost as much as Trump wants Greenland. Which makes sense. I mean, because Epstein's island is gone, he needs a new one to hang out with Bill Clinton. So, I told you it's my last year. What are you going to do about it? That is a great.
Okay, so that's, and I'll go back one, Rob. This is the president quickly tweeting, the Grammy Awards are the worst, virtually unwatchable. CBS is lucky not to have this garbage litter their airways any longer. The host, Trevor Noah, whoever he may be, is almost as bad as Jimmy Kimmel at the low ratings Academy Awards. Noah said incorrectly about me that Donald Trump and Bill Clinton spent time on the Epstein Island. Wrong, I can't speak for Bill, but I have never been to the island nor anywhere close, and until tonight's false and defamatory statement, have never been accused of being there, not even by fake news media. Noah, a total loser, better get his facts straight and get them straight fast. It looks like I'll be sending my lawyers to sue this poor, pathetic, talentless dope of an MC and suing him for plenty of money. Ask little George Stephanopoulos and others how that all worked out. Also, ask CBS, get ready, Noah. I'm going to have some fun with you. President Donald J. Trump. Now, keep in mind, while this is going on, this is one thing CNN was forced to do with the president a while back. Rob, I'm going to text this one to you as well if you want to pull it up. CNN was forced to post this, and Dear Abby did a great job explaining this. If you guys know who I'm talking about, she's a sweetheart.
She's awesome.
Rob, if you want to pull this clip of CNN and Vinny, I'm coming to you right after this, and you pick and choose what direction you go.
Okay.
On Epstein, I'll adjust accordingly. So this is CNN, okay, when this was posted. Abby had to explain this, okay? It'll come up here in a minute. Just press play. CNN forced to post the truth and how Trump banned Epstein from Mar-a-Lago for being. Watch this.
From Mar-a-Lago often made house calls to Jeffrey Epstein's home 2 miles away. But those house calls, quote, came to a halt in 2003 after an 18-year-old beautician returned to the club from a house call to Epstein and reported to managers that he had pressured her for sex. The HR manager faxed Trump a letter suggesting that the club ban Epstein, and Trump agreed, which does mirror the president's own public comments about why he cut ties with Epstein. The White House is responding to the Wall Street Journal, writing, no matter how many times this story is told and retold, the truth remains President Trump did nothing wrong, and he kicked Jeffrey Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago for being a creep.
He cut ties with Jeffrey Epstein long before Epstein became a convicted sex offender. A lot of Democrats didn't, and it is corroborated by the Wall Street Journal tonight.
There you go. So he wanted to make sure he got the facts straight. So, by the way, you know, people are saying a lot of different things. There's a lot of stories. His name is also in it. You'll see it in a few different places. But nothing's been, Vinny, matter of fact, I'll turn it over to you if you want to take it from here.
Okay, so, I mean, as you know, the weekend drop of everything, there's 6 million. What they drop, 6 million or drop 3 million, whatever.
3 million of the 6 million.
How much?
3 million of the 6 million.
And obviously, guys, everybody's dumping stuff online and all the it's. There was so much that I couldn't even send the Rob because I know that we can't show it. Epstein, there is one of him chasing little girls around this table, Rob, and It's all redacted. It's him with a little kid in a pool that has floaties that can't be more than like I don't even hear the audio because you can tell that these are children that he's chasing, and it's like you just saw her little dress right there. And by the way, those are not his children, FYI. And a lot of people, it's not vindication, Pat, but for how long we've been saying there's something dark that these elites have been doing, okay? They serve a different master than we do. And when I say, Tom, we had this conversation about a year ago, we have our rituals. We pray, incense, church, communion, we have ours. What do you think they're doing, okay? They do it behind closed doors. They do it on private islands, and sometimes they do it in plain sight. Pizzagate, as much as everybody thought everybody was crazy for bringing this up, Pat, and they tried to dismiss it, if you look at the evidence with the people involved and the paintings that they had in the house and their connections and what they did and their Instagram posts, it's clear, okay? And then on one of these documents I came across was from 2019, Rob. It's a sacrifice one. And it said, a purported Epstein victim telling agents about ritualistic sacrifice, witnessing babies being dismembered, their intestines removed, and individuals eating the bad part of the intestines from the intestines. And the FBI
This is in the emails?
This is in the email. I think Rob has it. And it says, one of the FBI agents, and by the way, these are all DOJ legitimate documents, said, I didn't realize Bush blanked him too. It's the R word that I don't want to say. And he said, okay. And then if you guys remember,
Bush Senior.
It said Bush 1. And in 2009, a 21-year-old Mexican model, Gabriela Rico Jimenez, she ran into the street screaming, like they're eating people. It's like these elites are eating people. And by the way, she disappeared and she went missing after this. So mind you,
this
is the one. Do you guys remember this? They thought she was crazy. She disappeared after this night. So, and now I'm going to move on really quick to Bill Gates, Pat. And I want to be clear. What I'm saying, these are documents released from the Department of Justice in these files. These are allegations, but nonetheless, there's 2 drafted emails in July 18, 2013 that were written by Jeffrey Epstein to himself as like a draft, okay? In these drafts, Epstein alleges that Bill Gates had sex outside of his marriage with women he describes as Russian women, and the Gates caught an STD, and then Bill Gates asked Epstein to get antibiotics so Gates could secretly give them to his wife Melinda without telling her what they were for. And then one draft claims that Bill Gates begged him to delete the messages about the STD, the antibiotic request, and other graphic details. So there's also a separate draft written like a fake resignation letter from someone named Boris, which people believe it was Boris Nicolette from the Gates Foundation. In that draft, Epstein complains about being pulled into things that cross moral and legal lines and included helping Gates get drugs, dealing with the fallout from those encounters, setting up secret meetings with married women, and supplying Adderall for bridge games despite not being a doctor. So if what these documents allege are true, that would explain why Melinda Gates said, I can't be with him anymore because of the relationship with him. And this one was really interesting, Rob. There was an email from 2017, Bill Gates and Jeffrey Epstein. In that email, Gates is discussing working with Epstein on a pandemic strain simulation. Okay, think about that. It wasn't a casual conversation. It shows that Epstein still had access to Gates' personal operation, which was BGC3, which later became Gates Ventures. And this is what's crazy, Pat. Epstein was already known as being the sexual predator, pervert, whatever. And then think about this. This is in 2017 after this email. And Rob, it's at the bottom of that. I think it's number 5. Go there. Strain pandemic simulation. This is what tripped me out. A year and a half later, event 201 happened, which was a pandemic simulation where leaders played, coronavirus outbreaks and all that stuff, and how the media respond. Guess who organized this event? The World Economic Forum and the Bill Gates and Melinda Foundation. That's insane to me that they were talking about this, the pandemic, and then it happened. And the last one, Pat, was a Steve Bannon interview when he asked him, "Are you the devil?" Look at how uncomfortable he is, and I believe this ends the interview. Am I right, Robbie? Can you please play this one?
I told him the devil,
100%.
the devil
himself.
The devil himself said, "I'm going to exchange some dollars for your child's life."
Do you think you're the devil himself?
No, but I do have a good mirror.
It's a serious question.
Sorry.
Do you think you're the devil himself?
I don't know. Why would you say that?
Because you have all the attributes. You're incredibly smart. You remember the devil is somebody
the devil
knows.
Smart?
The devil's brilliant. You read Milton's Paradise Lost.
No, the devil scares me.
Satan is at the number 1 or 2 archangel, and the reason he goes to hell and leads the rebellion is because he can't be the top guy. And his thing is, I'd rather reign in hell than serve in heaven.
I saw that in a movie once called American Dharma. I don't remember who said it. Okay, we have to go.
Boom.
Okay, good.
The devil question got him out. So from everything that I saw, it corroborates all the stuff that we've always heard of what these people are doing. Again, it's allegedly, but it's disgusting. It's disgusting, and I'm so happy that it's all coming out. And they try to get Trump on. Oh, everybody was like, "Oh, Trump did this, Trump did that." There's an affidavit from Katie Johnson, which has been publicly available since 2016, and was dropped because she was mentally ill, drug addict who made up the entire thing. And the rest of the accusations came from 2020 to 2021. Weird. I wonder why those 2 years. But this is deep, Pat, and the fact that Nicki Minaj's tweet yesterday, did you?
What year was the Calendar Girls accusation?
I think the Calendar Girls accusations, Robbie, were they 2020? 2021 they surfaced. But the allegations that came from random people, some came from Australia, calling into the NTOC, which is the National Threat Operations Center, and SDNY tip line. These people are posting allegations, but edited out the most important part, which said on the right side, Robbie, if you go to the other one, on the right side, keep going down. Is this the one that I sent you?
Hold on. Let me pull that
It says, in all these cases, the information was deemed secondhand, invalid. The entries are detailed calls made to these hotlines. Pat, anybody could just call and leave a tip, and they had to document this. So that's what it was.
Anybody can call and leave a tip.
Anybody
and
could call and say, this is what's happening, this is what's
Well,
going
let me
on.
do this. There's a phone call. There's a conversation recording between Epstein and Ehud Barak, who's the former prime minister of Israel. This is Mike Benz is narrating it, but there's 2 clips I want you to listen to, Rob. I don't know if you saw the one that says, get a board seat, $3 million. He's out. He's trying to find a way now how to make money, how to get himself, a job. And, Epstein is coaching the former prime minister on how to get a job, on how to make money. A little bit weird when this takes place. Is that what it is, Rob?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go for it.
And so you got to work it backwards and say, here is my, instead of thinking about what the opportunities are first, because right now you're focused on opportunities. I need you to focus on your personal balance sheet in terms of competences.
Listen, folks.
What's your real strengths? What's the liability? One of the liabilities is you're 71 years old, so you can't be in a business. It takes 20 years to make money. We have to make money in the next 3 years. So people, competence, things. So I talked to Ian yesterday. I asked him to come. He flew in from London. He's great for an hour.
What was his impression from the...
So same thing. Because he's very connected to Samsung. Very. Who? Samsung. Korean. Samsung. Yes. Very. They pay him $3 million a year.
Just to make PR?
Yes. He has 10 companies like that now. Okay? So he said there's this company called Lookout. He said he mentioned it to you. LOOKOUT. Yeah. He thinks they'll pay you a couple $1 million to be on the board.
That would be good.
I understood.
That'd be good.
So Jeffrey Epstein is arranging
and
through his network of friends and people who likely owe Epstein favors for Epstein to then broker a board seat for $3 million or several $1 million to Ehud Barak. What do you think Ehud Barak's government salary was as the Minister of Defense
$200,000
in Israel? The Secretary of War in the United States makes about $250,000 a year. Suddenly it goes to $3 million because you got a friend named Jeffrey Epstein.
Makes you think.
Get people to
and
back
Mike is
you.
making a very good point here. This is what I want you to do, Rob. Can you go to the clip right below it where it's a 2-minute clip? You know how, go a little bit higher, Rob. Go a little bit higher on that tweet. See where it says that guy's name right there? He gives him credit, Ryan something. Let's give him credit as well. Ryan Grimm. Click on that. Go to his account. Go a little bit lower on his account, and you'll see right there. Click on that and listen to this 2-minute recording. Go for it.
He thought there was 2 cyber companies. Look out, and even though
This is
I know
an
Peter, I never
0304.
met Peter Thiel.
Peter Thiel.
And everybody says he sort of jumps around and acts sort of
He looks-
strange, like he's on drugs.
Smoking, yeah.
Yeah.
He looks the under drugs.
However, he has a company called Palantir. P-A-L-L-E-N.
22 years ago.
Wow.
T-I-E-R. Palantir is Peter Thiel's company. And look out.
Palantir, P-A-L-A-N-T-I-E-R.
They don't even know how to spell it.
Yes.
It's so old. He's writing it
How
down.
do I tell it? T-H-I-E-L-L-Y.
T-H-I-E-L.
L-L-Y.
No.
You can pause it here. Go ahead, Vin.
And the great, I love the fact that they did this work. And earlier in this recording,
Yeah.
he says right off the jump too. He goes to Ehud Barak. Epstein goes, okay, so now you have to think like this: IOUs. Who owes you favors? Who owes you this? He goes, who owes you their life? So now you can play this game, and it's such a great audio because it shows exactly what Jeffrey Epstein was. He grabs all these people and how much power, what dirt do you have? And mind you, this was Ehud Barak. He was in charge of their intelligence in Israel. This isn't just a random nobody actor in LA. This is freaking huge, and I think it shows the web of what Epstein was about.
I want to show this. This is the last thing I want to stay on this topic. And Tom, I'll come to you if you have thoughts. And Rob, I want you to show this email. Look at this email here, okay? I just texted it to you. Look at this email here. Zoom in a little bit, Rob, if you could. Thank you. Hey, sent from phone. Unfortunately not. Okay, unfortunately not. You should make clear that I don't work for Mossad.
Smiley face.
You see it? Yeah. You or I. No, that I don't.
Yes.
Smiley face. So, look, the claims that he was never part of Mossad or didn't work with them or collaborate with them, if you don't believe he did at this point of the game, you may work for Mossad. You know what I'm saying? That you may be there. And by the way,
I don't believe that. No, I'm just
yeah. So no, but the point I'm making to you is, guess what Mossad's job is? To gather assets.
Of course.
And guess what CIA's job is?
Same thing.
Guess what MI6's job is?
Same thing.
Everyone. Guess what KGB's job is? Every one of these guys that want to go out there, they want to get intel. So this guy was very useful to Mossad, and he gave them a lot of intel. But for him to sit there coaching him through how to make money. By the way, who's recording this?
Jeffrey Epstein is at the dinner.
Epstein is recording it.
Yes,
and they found this in the Epstein files.
Yes.
Of one of the 3 million files.
One of the and it's and you saw on his phone, on Mike Ben's phone, it said Department of Justice.gov. This is a government released all of it. Correct. It's all stuff in the files. And by the time people are just scratching barely hitting the surface. Who knows what's in these 3 million files? It's forever.
Tom, where are you at with this?
2 things. If anybody doesn't realize how much pressure is coming from 20 different angles at any second on not to release this stuff, you're not paying attention. The reason this stuff hasn't been released is because there's a lot of people who got their names in it, and there's a lot of people putting a lot of pressure on a lot of people. That's why it's taking so slow to release this. Second, yeah, the FBI and the Department of Justice could say, well, there's victims in here, we got to take care of images. Good Lord. Google has had technology where you could redact images and you could fuzz pictures, and Zillow fuzzes out license plates and certain house numbers on pictures of houses. This technology is out there. They could have swept through this and done it. These things haven't been released because there's a lot of people who didn't want their name out in the media the way it is now. That's my first point, Pat, is just to remind myself how much pressure is out there on the Epstein files. The second thing is, I'm not going to go through the lurid stuff that's in there, but it was really disturbing me. And if even half of these lurid episodes, up to and including human sacrifice, is true, then, man, some people need to be in prison. And so that's my second thought, is if even half of these stuff in there, you get one crazy thing written, Pat, don't you think? You see one crazy thing written, you say, okay, somebody wrote an email and that's kind of crazy, or somebody called a tip line and tried to get you in trouble. Those things
What'd you
happen.
think about this Epstein sex scam with KGB honey trap? What'd you think about that?
Could Epstein have worked with the KGB? Would the KGB been more than happy to send the KGB, by the way, and the Chinese?
Let me just set you up. Maybe let me just do this. Epstein was running the world's largest honey trap operation on behalf of KGB when he procured women for his networks of associates intelligence. The release of more than 3 million new documents Epstein releases to the late credits to his incendiary claims that made by senior officials. Epstein was working on behalf of Moscow and possibly Israel when he facilitated assignations for some of the world's most powerful men. The file includes, this is where I'm going to come over to you, 1,056 documents naming Vladimir Putin and 9,629 referring to Moscow. Epstein even seems to have secured audiences with Putin after his 2008 convictions for procuring a child for prostitution.
Do I believe it? There's so much in there that it's on brand, because KGB and China, they have long been known to use women to tempt Western diplomats and Western business leaders. That has been their play for a long time. That's been well known. It's well documented separately. So is it surprising to see that Russia and Putin and 9,629 references and 1,056 documents? No, that doesn't surprise me at all, because Russia has done this. And if Russia, Pat, if Russia looks at it and says, hey, this guy Epstein looks like he's playing for everybody's team and he's in for money in himself, do you think we can maybe get him and leverage him with some of our women, with some of the Western people we want to compromise? Yes, I think they would have done it. They would have seen, I think Russia would have seen Epstein as an opportunity, because this is what they in China have been doing with women for a long time. Ask Eric Swalwell about China and how they do it.
Fang.
You got something about it? Yeah, well, thank God for social media, because I don't know who said the famous quote, but everybody's going to get exposed at this point. Everybody. And in my opinion, I don't think any intelligence agencies all across the world will pay the price. These secretive intelligence agencies, this is what they do. Whether it's CIA, whether it's FBI, whether it's MI6, whether it's KGB, whether it's Mossad, they're all going to still continue to what they do. But who should be held accountable are the names that continue to pop up. Head of the list, Bill Clinton. Do we think anything's going to actually happen to Bill Clinton? I don't think so. Bill Gates, Larry Summers, Ehud Barak, Prince Andrew, all these people should be held accountable. So it's so funny to me, last point, this stuff has been known for decades. Decades. Why is this all coming out when Trump's the president? Because in my opinion, the left, who's been bearing this for years, they only have one singular focus. They want to bring down Trump. They don't care about exposing people's names. They don't care about the victims. They have such a fixation on Trump that their singular goal, their singular mission is to bring down Trump. And the most ironic thing, bringing it back to what is going to probably sue Trevor Noah, he's the one guy that seems to be the guy that never went to the island. So that's...
And by the way, here's another thing. You know, the Michael Wolff had the 100-something plus hours. I had Michael Wolff.
Is that the guy you interviewed?
Yeah, we had him on the podcast a couple months
Little
ago.
dude with the glasses?
Trump threatens to sue Michael Wolff for the Epstein conspiracy. So let me tell you, something happened yesterday at the Grammys, which kind of I'll transition into that because I don't think there's anything else to cover here. We'll go into the Grammys. At the Grammys, they're saying what they're saying. I think... Trevor Noah was up there making fun of Nicki Minaj and saying, hey, Nicki, where are you? Oh, Nicki's not here. Nicki's still at the White House with the president. And while he is impersonating Trump, right behind Trevor Noah is John Legend's wife. I don't know what her
Chrissy
name
Teigen.
is. Chrissy Teigen, right? Is this the one, Rob? Is that the one you have right there?
I believe so.
I think this is it. Go forward, Rob.
Every single person here, John Legend, Billie Eilish, Phineas, Nicki Minaj is not here. She is not here.
See the girl on the back, Christy?
Yeah.
Go back 2 seconds, Rob, if you could.
With Donald Trump.
Go back. Watch what she does. Glad that you're not here. Thumbs up.
She is still at the White House with Donald Trump discussing very important issues. Actually, Nicki, I have the biggest ass. I have it. Everybody's saying it, Nicki. I know
so
they say it,
cringe.
but it's me. Wop, wop, wop. Look at it. Look at it, baby.
Okay, so that's happening. Nicki goes on Twitter, and you'll see what point I'm trying to make. I'm going to bring you back to Trump here. Nicki goes on Twitter, and they're showing me these tweets. You know, Tom follows Nicki very closely. And so Nicki, this is what she tweets. Your favorite artist has been practicing rituals in a satanic cult where they take babies from other countries and mutilate and kill them as a form of blood sacrifice to their God. You see, when your master is Satan, you must constantly shed blood. However, this jig is up, okay? Nicki, to say something like that, how many views does that get, Rob, the tweet? With, what is that, 8.6 million views? And then Alex Jones, out of all the people, thanks me, Nicki Minaj. I want to thank you for your courage and extend an invitation to you join me on the podcast. I loved your comment about Don Lemon. Okay, he's doing his thing. Apparently, there's more things going on. If you can go there, Rob, there's pictures of many major names. And one of the faces is right there, go up, go up, go up, go up, go up. She posts that picture of Jay-Z. And then go a little bit lower, and you'll see different pictures of Jay-Z with younger women.
Oh.
Okay, and I don't know who that is. Is that Aaliyah? When she was, what, 16 or something like that?
I think there's one, Rob, where she puts the age right there.
Zoom
15,
in.
16,
15,
age
16.
15.
Okay. So, by the way, here's the difference. There's a lot of people on X that will say stuff that are nobodies, that'll tweet. And you're not going to go sue everybody that's going to do whatever they're going to say. Nicki Minaj is not nobody. If Nicki Minaj tweets something like this and Jay-Z doesn't sue, well, it's very different than what Trump does. If Trevor Noah said something to Trump as a joke on his stand-up against him and Bill Clinton and the island, and he likes islands because, you know, what do you call it, Epstein Island is no longer around, and Trump immediately sues, we haven't seen it yet, but he says he's going to, and then he's going to be suing Michael Wolff. I mean, you got to just realize what's going to happen here. Is Jay-Z going to do anything to Nicki Minaj? She's making it very clear on what she's coming out with. So this is the part that you got to watch very closely on how Trump's handled this. Now, don't get me wrong. We've seen the clips that there was a relationship, that they would talk and the exchange and all this other stuff. Yes, we've seen that as well. But at the same time, there is levels to it. I think there was even one email exchange with Elon, right, on something about a visit, an island, and it wasn't available, and somebody wasn't available to go. Yep. And that was also public to the point that even Elon responded to that. Yep. If you guys go on Elon responded to the Epstein files, probably just Tallulah and me. What day night will be the wildest party on your island? Who's asking that question? Is that Epstein asking it?
According to this, it's Elon asking Epstein that.
Right. Okay, so Elon's asking Epstein that. Go back a little bit, Rob, and go to Elon responding to it, because Elon actually responded to it. Oh, Elon tweets a lot. It's going to take you a minute to find it. But if you go through it, eventually you'll find him. Maybe zoom in a little bit so we can all see if it comes through. There you go. Yeah, he responds to it to say, okay, wow, it's so crazy. Epstein killed himself before realizing he was innocent, and Ghislaine Maxwell was in prison for what exactly? Oh, yeah, Epstein client arrest counter is still 0. Sorry, maybe a dumb question, but if there are Epstein files, videos, and names tied to serious crimes, why hasn't anyone been arrested yet? And he just responds in a condescending way. Keep going lower. He does respond to it. Is that it, Rob? That's it.
Yeah.
Epstein hounded me relentlessly to go into his pedo island and always declined. Not you, though. You actually went. What gifts did you bring to Epstein when you went to pedo island? Who is this? Reid Hoffman. Oh, so that's the Reid Hoffman LinkedIn, right? Go a little bit lower. Let's see what's in the email, Rob. Zoom in a little bit so we can see it. Likewise, I bought a gift that will wait for the next opportunity. Hope DC was good. Sorry, I was really for looking to forget seeing you and spending time. Come visit. Please note. Okay, that's what? That's Reid Hoffman and LinkedIn and Epstein communicating with each other?
Yes, sir.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, he was there a lot.
So obviously, and by the way, I believe if I'm not mistaken, Reid Hoffman financed whose legal?
The blonde crazy
Eugene Carroll.
Eugene Carroll.
Eugene Carroll.
Oh, wow. He's anti-Trump.
Can you type in that? Can you type in Reid Hoffman, Eugene Carroll
funding?
there's the connections here with what's going on. I mean, it's
deep.
By the way, do you realize if Trump doesn't win in 2024, how they would have handled this?
Oh my goodness.
Say Trump doesn't win, Kamala's a president. You know what the world would believe? They said whoever controls the president controls history.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Whoever controls the president controls history. If Kamala's in the White House today, they're controlling history. What story would they be telling?
Ooh.
How would they be spinning it? Reid Hoffman, billionaire tech investment co-founder of LinkedIn, did financially support E. Jean Carroll in her civil lawsuit against Trump. Hoffman publicly acknowledged that he helped fund Carroll's legal effort after the initial verdict. Says his support was motivated by opposition to Trump and belief in Carroll's case. The funding was routed through a nonprofit legal support structure, not paid directly to Carroll personally. This is commonly described as third-party litigation funding, which is legal in civil cases. So, in other words, Reid Hoffman funds E. Jean Carroll. Elon Musk funds Tommy Robinson. Go figure. One is trying to keep a country and EU safer. The other one is trying to make sure a guy goes to prison for something he allegedly never did. And what did E. Jean Carroll say in that interview to Anderson Cooper? I really like you.
Yeah.
I really like
rape. Some people like enjoy.
What is rape to you? Rape is a fantasy.
Let's go to commercial.
Fantasies. Yeah. Hey, Rachel, do you want to go shopping? What do you want me to buy you? You want to go to France? You want to go to Paris? Weird stuff. So, anyways, the Grammy stuff was a whole mess. But in the Grammy stuff, all this craziness that you're seeing, Vinny, I'll come to you on the Nicki Minaj thing and a response. Is there anything you want to add to the Nicki Minaj before we go to Jelly Roll?
Just the one thing, because you pointed out Chrissy Teigen. I want everybody to remember, go back, do your own due diligence and your own research. In 2020, she deleted 60,000 tweets. And if you really think about, by the way, and we keep hearing this pizza thing, Pat, if you look at the code words that these people use, pizza was either a young boy or a young girl or whatever the hell it was. She said tweets that were deleted talking about, I'm watching Tots and Tiaras, whatever. And she's like, I wish they would do splits and I want pizza on my chest. It's disgusting. If you're innocent, why would you delete 60,000 tweets? But I absolutely love what Nicki Minaj is doing, Pat. She's saying it as it is. There's no way somebody with that many followers is just going to come out and say, oh, I saw ritualistic killings and blah, 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 blah. I don't think she's lying. Explain that to me. Seeing little girls do the splits half naked is just, I want to put myself in jail. What the hell are you talking about? Think about that. We're adults. What is she talking about? And then why are you deleting it and then coming back and saying, no, everybody's attacking me and I feel for my safety? Nah, he just said the cleanest and the best pleasure is to have sex with a 13-year-old. Up until that. Very, very funny. And the list goes on. I'm about to Anthony Weiner this kid. What does that mean?
What the hell is wrong?
What does that mean? And then there's a video of her with John Legend.
9:36 p.m. She's obviously on drugs or drinking.
Or something.
My speculation would be it's 9:36 p.m. to say something dumb like this.
And do you remember when she's getting interviewed? Her and her husband, John Legend, are getting interviewed by somebody, and you don't even have to show Rob. And they go, John Legend looked like he saw a ghost. She goes, yeah, that one time that we hooked up, or they were talking about sex at the Obama thing, and he looked like,
No, we're not going to talk about that.
No, we're not going to talk about it. So that's that. But I love that she's doing, Pat. They hate what she's doing because that's what they build you up. They give you this power so you never talk about them and you never do this. They're all getting exposed. I absolutely love what she's doing. Nicki Minaj doesn't give a damn. She spoke up for the people, the Christians dying in Nigeria. She has the Holy Spirit in her. I don't care what anybody says. That's what's happening. It's a revival. And I know you want to talk about the Jelly Roll. Well, you were talking about the Grammys were filled.
While the Grammys is going on, okay,
Yeah.
Jelly Roll is here. You know, when he wins, they call this him. There's a clip of him when he's announced when he wins. The reaction is phenomenal. Here's what Jelly Roll had to say when he won. Go for it, Rob.
You're going to try to kick me off here, so just let me try to get this out. First of all, Jesus, I hear you and I'm listening, Lord. I am listening, Lord. Woo. Second of all, I want to thank my beautiful wife. I would have never changed my life without you. I'd have ended up dead or in jail. I'd have killed myself if it wasn't for you and Jesus. I thank you for that. I thank you for my label, Broken Bow, Country Radio, baby. What's up, dog? Oh, Republic, John Manili, we did it, baby. There was a time in my life, y'all, that I was broken. That's why I wrote this album. I didn't think I had a chance, y'all. There was days that I thought the darkest things. I was a horrible human. There was a moment in my life that all I had was a Bible this big and a radio the same size and a 6x8 foot cell. And I believed that those two things could change my life. I believed that music had the power to change my life and God had the power to change my life. And I want to tell y'all right now, Jesus is for everybody.
Listen.
Jesus is not owned by one political party. Jesus is not owned by no music label. Jesus is Jesus, and anybody can have a relationship with him. I love you, Lord.
Oh my goodness. If that doesn't give you goosebumps
That's
and
Reba
let you know that
McEntire
he's
right
in a
there.
room filled with depraved creatures in Hollywood and he came up there and he praised Jesus' name, good for him, Pat. Like, I always was a fan. That is freaking amazing. Taking that moment filled with these people and he did that. I mean, you can't
By the
beat
way,
that.
did you see, you know, the clip you were showing in the back of Joe Rogan talking about Jesus?
Oh,
and
does he have
how
that, Rob?
Rob, do you have that clip? Joe Rogan, this is recent apparently, in the last week or so when he had Andrew Wilson on, which phenomenal podcast. But Joe Rogan is talking about his experience. I think that's the one.
This makes me
I think
so
that's
happy.
the one. Watch this, folks.
One of the things that I always try to point out to people, they go, why do you go to church? Like, because when I was younger, I was very cynical about religion. And then I've got older. One of the things that I always say is, if there was a pill that could make you as nice as the people that I go to church with, everybody would be on it.
Bingo.
They are the nicest fucking people you will ever encounter. When we leave
Are
the
they
church
nice or are they
parking lot,
kind?
they're kind.
Yeah, they're kind.
Kind and nice. They're all the above. If you get to the teachings of Christ, I can't find any faults in it. Like, it's all about being kind. It's all about this idea that we're all in this together and that you're supposed to lift each other up and look after each other. There's no faults in it. It's not like you have to kill the non-believers.
Bingo.
It's not like you get to rape and pillage for the non-believers and the infidels must die. There's none of that. It's definitely a better framework for living your life. And there's a lot of people that just reject that think of themselves as intelligent. You know, they think of themselves as intelligent and well-read and educated. And
Too
they just
smart
think it's,
for that.
Yeah, I'm too smart for that.
Too smart.
It's very fascinating. It's fascinating that people that are self-professed atheists and people that think of themselves as too intelligent for religion won't acknowledge that. They don't want to believe that. And so many of them that I know that are self-professed atheists are some of the most miserable people. They're very depressed. A lot of them are on psychiatric medications. A lot of them are in therapy. A lot of them are really fucked up.
They're almost cursed.
When I heard that, do you know how first Jelly Roll, Pat, you want to talk about the epitome of faith over fear. You know how scary it is to go in that room with these heathens and go up there and profess Jesus Christ like that. I guarantee the labels and all these, or whoever's really in charge, they don't wear Christianity on their sleeve. They don't let people know. And Joe Rogan, Pat, I know Joe Rogan because we've hung out and I've seen him and stuff like that. You have no idea how happy that makes me that the Holy Spirit has touched him that way where he knows what's up. He gets it. The happiest people, we're trying to get close to Christ. We're trying to walk in the footsteps. And that right there, if you can't see what God is doing in these people's lives, then you're freaking blind. That's the only way. That's the only way. God is what? Jesus Christ is what, Tom? The way, the truth, and the life.
No one comes to the Father
except through me. And it's not a game, guys. Or Joe Biden would say, it's not a joke.
Look, it's Satan is referred to as the ruler of the kingdom of the air. And it says he roams the earth looking for someone to devour. That's what it said in 2 Peter. And it says, be self-controlled and alert and aware of these things. I see glimpses in music, and I see it all in entertainment, but there were two glimpses I saw in music that were really startling to me. One was Bob Dylan's interview with Ed Bradley, openly saying he made a deal. He cut a deal, and he was very troubled by it. But Dylan was talking about what people were interpreting it, that he made a deal with the dark side around his music. I mean, that's what him was saying. I'm not interpreting. It's what Bob Dylan was saying. And he was sitting there talking to Ed Bradley on 60 Minutes, this interview. And then the other one says, I remember seeing music videos, Motley Crue, that showed the inside of their studio or a practice facility that they said supposedly was in Box Canyon, the other side of Chatsworth, and it was these candles up on the wall with the star that is known as Satan's star. And it really bothered me. I said, are they doing that because they think the artwork is cool, that it's goth? Because some people do that, you know, they adopt the symbols because they think it's cool looking, right? You know, it's like kids in the 70s when I grew up, you know, had adopted these things that were around, you know, Hell's Angels. And what they didn't realize, it was American Nazism, but they were adopting it because they thought it was cool, and they did not know what it meant. So I'm like, man, does the band know what that mean? Or did they just think it's kind of cool and, you know, make the double horns, you know, while you're headbanging to that kind of music? I don't know, but I'll tell you, it's there. It's there if you want to see it, that these people are battling with the spiritual side and have come face to face with the spiritual force. But the white light will expose it all, and the white light of Jesus Christ is what will ultimately expose all darkness.
Adam, how do you process this?
Well, you know the famous quote, the greatest trick the devil ever pulled is pretending and telling people that he didn't exist, right? This comes down to complete trickery. I'll never forget the conversation I had with our friend Jimmy, who doesn't like talking about this anymore. But this was a couple of years ago, and he's Jewish, but he became a Christian, but then he allegedly started worshiping the devil, and then he's got back into the gospel music. Now he's back, and he was very open about what he went through. And the first time he told me this, I go, dude, being naive maybe at the time, I'm like, are you telling me what I think you're telling me? He's like, I swear on my life,
I saw it.
The things I've seen, whether it's human sacrifice, children,
Which
these
Jimmy
things.
is this?
Jimmy Levy, singer, you know who he is.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, dude, this is very hard for me to believe and process. You were there.
It's scary.
He's saying here at the event that we did here, and really it comes down to this. What's the price that you're willing to pay for fame? You know, you see people out there like, I'll do anything. And then here comes whoever, Hollywood agent, super producer, whatever, these types of people on the in crowded and say anything. Well, here we go. So is there anybody that Hollywood or the elite does not want speaking more than Nicki Minaj? A black, talented female who's seen behind the curtain, and now she's a fan of Trump?
Oh.
I mean, I don't even know what she said about Trump in the past, but I guarantee you it was not good. Wasn't she also at the Turning Point being interviewed by Eric Kirk? So, you know, if they say...
She was at the White House this last weekend.
Exactly. So what happened there? Genuinely, what happened?
Yeah.
What did she see?
Listen, it's a great question.
And then
the
last point is this. Kanye, many, many, many years ago, before he went on his tirade and he embraced Jesus walks, he says, if you say anything, you'll lose everything. If you say anything, you'll lose everything. And they keep repeating it. And then here's the thing. You know, they say that politics is downstream from culture. This thing that's going on in Hollywood, whether it's devil worship, whether it's the Bohemian Grove, whether it's Bazamuth or whatever this guy is. Whatever. You know what one thing I'm worried about? You know, it's big tech, big government, big pharma, big agriculture, big Hollywood. The military industrial complex, they may say run the world, but what runs America is the Hollywood industrial complex.
They're losing it.
Yes. They're losing.
Thank God they're being exposed.
You know why big Hollywood is losing it? Because independent creators nowadays can make same kind of money doing what they're doing. There's so many ways that you no longer need that power. Look who we are. I mean, we're a perfect example. Who the hell are we? Honestly, think about it. Like, I didn't go to no Columbia University, whatever. We didn't go to no Ivy League. Tom is the most educated guy here, according to the way you're supposed to do it. You know, that community, this community. And he went to CSUN, Cal State University in Northridge. That should be a one of these UCs, right? University of California, whatever.
Put myself through it my own dollars, by the way.
But what's the point? This independent world that is becoming very annoying to them. Wait a minute, who are you? For a guy named Mr. Beast to make 20-minute videos and become a billionaire off of YouTube? What? Yeah, but by the way, as great of an actor as Brad Pitt is, guess what he's worth? $400 million. Imagine how many movies he's been in. As incredible of an actor as Tom Cruise is, what's Tom Cruise's net worth? Can you pull up what Tom Cruise's net worth is? What is Tom Cruise's net
Can I
worth?
guess?
I don't know, 700 million? 600 million? What is the number?
600 million.
600 million. Mr. Beast at 30 is a billionaire off of YouTube.
Yeah.
Think about it. It's a very different world. Very different world. Comedy's changed. Everything's changed. So I don't think they have the power they did before, and it scares the crap out of them in a major, major way. Scares the crap out of them. Let me get to the next story here. Next story I want to get into, to me, this is a top 5 story, maybe even higher. I know we'll get to the government shutdown. But let's get into this story. Okay, the story is about Panama Canal. Rob, where's the Panama Canal? There it is. Panama court kicks Hong Kong's CK Hutchinson out of canal ports. What do you mean by that? Don't they own it? They haven't sold it to BlackRock yet. And this is a Financial Times story. This is a very, very big story. And we were at the Pentagon a couple days ago talking to some of the people that were working closely with this. The stuff that we have, we can speak about some of the stuff. So Panama's top court has annulled a contract for Hong Kong-based company to operate a pair of ports on the country's famous canal, casting doubt over a deal to sell the terminals and boosting President Trump's effort to reassert U.S. influence in the region. In a unanimous ruling published late on Thursday, the Central American country's Supreme Court said the concession for a unit of CK Hutchinson Holding to run the ports at either end of the Panama Canal was unconstitutional. The case stems from lawsuit dating back to 2021 and a government audit in 2025 alleging irregularities. The ruling will delight the U.S. president who vowed last year to take back control of the canal connecting to the Pacific and the Caribbean and has criticized Chinese influence over the waterway. Kevin Marino, U.S. ambassador to Panama, hailed the ruling as strongly affirming the rule of the law. It confirms that Panama's independent judiciary enforces legal compliance, transparency, and public service obligations. There's a lot to it. The two canals that they're talking about, Tom, one of them is called the Key Balboa, and the other one is called the Cristobal. And Jose Raul Molino, who happens to be the president of Panama, I want to say he got elected July of 2024. He's only been in for a year and a half. And Panama doesn't have a Republican and Democratic party. It works in a very different way. But this guy is very much pro-law enforcement, pro-borders. He would be considered a conservative. And when he's sitting there looking at the amount of control that China has over Panama, it's like, wait a minute, what is going on here? And he knows where president's at. And he probably also knows that President Trump may do something like the Cuba and something like the Greenland or Venezuela and some of that stuff, but they actually have an okay working relationship together. I got some thoughts on this, but Tom, I'll come to you first.
So what's really interesting is we talked about it on this podcast, and we dug up all of the business dealings on what business would own what.
Can you pull up the two ports, by the way, that CK Hutchinson owns, Rob, so the audience can see exactly why these two are so important? By the way, CK Hutchinson owns about 43 to 45 that Larry Fink and BlackRock was trying to buy. But out of the 43, 45 ports that they have, a couple are in Mexico as well. The two that matters the most are these two.
Yeah,
if you want to type in Key Balboa and Cristobal, and just go to Maps, Rob. Key Balboa and Cristobal, and then go to Maps. Go ahead, Tom.
Yep. And Hutchison Whampoa is a huge company with all sorts of things. There was a guy that was over there, Li Ka-shing, which people used to refer to him as Li Cash-in, because it seems like every government he talked to, he would get the deal done. So anyhow, as you see the map here, you see how important these two ports are as you go through the Panama Canal, which takes you through Panama. And that, by the way, it goes up mountains. They take the boats in, they fill it with water to make the boat go higher. Then they put it, it's called the locks, to the next step, to the next step. It's like making a boat climb stairs through all the Panama Canal. And it's hugely important because that's how Pacific freight gets to the Gulf of America and then gets over here to New Orleans and Houston and Miami and our major ports. So this was a business deal that everyone thought, wow, who's going to own this? Is BlackRock going to make a deal with Hutchinson? There was a deal on the table. And then all of a sudden, Hutchinson says, well, maybe I don't want to do that. Maybe I'll do it differently. And everybody talked about it. CIA leak came out that said that the Chinese were putting pressure on Hutchinson not to do it because the Chinese had been investing in the canal and wanted to control it so they could control the United States and the West and to put pressure on trade. That's what the game was. Well, guess what happens here? What happens is all of a sudden, the Panama goes, wait a minute. I got elected in 2024. Why don't we go take a look at this under Panamanian law? Because this isn't just a business deal of who owns what. This is our land. This is our sovereign country. And if you go look over history on how the actual country of Panama was created, you'll see that there was some definite oddities when that happened. But now Panama, by the way, they go to their Supreme Court, and the word that Pat read, that you read, was unanimous ruling. So it was unanimous ruling. Interesting how big their Supreme Court is. How big is Panama's Supreme Court? But it was a unanimous ruling with their president, Marino, supporting this, saying, wait a minute, we're going to go back and look at our own laws to 9 magistrates and 9 alternates. And so that's 9 people voting. So this wasn't a split vote. So something went down in Panama, and Panama said, nope, we're not going to let this be a business deal with Hutchinson that's controlled by the Chinese. We're now going to step in here and say, you can't do that. This is our sovereign country. You may have a business deal here, but this canal is our country. It's part of our security and defense. That's what we're doing. And by the way, here it is. Balboa is the entrance on the Pacific Ocean. See the map there? And I'm glad Pat asked for this. And then Cristobal is the one that's on the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah, just send us to Rob. So you see the two, why they matter the most. This is why, by the way, there are some people that will say the following, Tom. You know what they'll say? Why the hell did Jimmy Carter give this up? This is ours anyways. You know, when you think about it, it's like, well, I didn't want war to happen because of what was going on in 1964, and you know, I wanted to make sure we had good relations. I didn't want it to be any worse than it was. Panama Canal. If President Trump was president during that time, what would have President Trump done with Panama Canal? Would he have handed it to them? What do you think he would have done at that time?
He would have supported the economic needs of Panama, but kept control of the canal that we built.
He would have done that, in your opinion.
He would have helped. I think he would have helped Panama.
What can he do now, Tom? What can he do now?
Well, I think what he can do now is I think we are very close. My understanding and what we've heard from people is that we are very close to the people in Panama. We are working diplomatically with them so that they would keep control of their country and not allow the Chinese to do this. This is a big deal. Well, most people don't realize, and I think we can say the number, right? This is a top 5 international deal on the president's desk.
We can say that.
We can say that much.
I think we can say that much, yeah.
I think so.
So that's...
And by the way, this is from the people on his team saying that.
Correct.
Yeah.
So that tells you how important it is. And when you see the map there and you see how all this freight comes from all over the place, the Panama Canal was the shortcut for east to west. It's a huge economic importance for all the stuff that comes from the Pacific Ocean coming to, again, New Orleans, Houston, and Miami, which are actually Port Everglades bigger, the ports that are bringing product here to the United States.
Yeah, I mean, this is multiple people tried to build this. They saw this as a good opportunity to build the canal. The French failed. U.S. came in. At the time, I don't know how, by the way, the way to build it, if you've ever been to the Panama Canal, it's a spectacle. When you go there, they show you how many, you know how they build this place? With bombs. The canal's built with bombs. So they had to blow things up and people would, but Rob, can you Google how many people died building the Panama Canal? By the way, before you say this, Vinny, what do you think the number is? How many people, do it privately, Rob, so they don't see it. How many people died building the Panama Canal? Died.
5,000.
Okay, now because I'm saying this, you're thinking about it that way, right?
Yeah.
What's the number, Rob? What does it say? How many people died building the Panama Canal? 25,000 people died.
Jesus.
Just to build. I mean, the French really screwed up. Look at that. They killed 20,000.
Yeah, they were very
Our
close to the
construction
bombs.
workers, 5,600 people died building this place.
Wow.
We gave $375 million of 1904, 1908 money, which in today's like $13 billion, $10 or $13 billion. But to me, the fact that the alignment of the new president, July of 2024, got elected. Trump comes in 6 months later. There is that affinity. They both realize we have a similar enemy, and that enemy is China. We got to figure this thing out. So I kind of like what's happening here. Adam.
Yeah, the question I ask is this all part of Trump's master plan? I mean, there's so many people I speak to. They're like, Trump's crazy, man. He's insane. He's going nuts. It's like, yeah, is he crazy? Crazy like a fox? Because the Panama Canal, which I know that was a top 5 issue for you, comes down to basically the Don Roe doctrine. And if you look at this map right here, why is he talking about Greenland so much? Why did he take the Gulf of America, well, Gulf of Mexico, and make it the Gulf of America? Why is he so concerned about Venezuela? Why the Panama Canal? Because they're all in the Western Hemisphere. This is what he's saying. He's basically saying China's over there. We're going to deal with what they're dealing with on a long-term capacity, but control the controllable in our hemisphere. Now, when it comes to China, you know that they're our main competitor. You might say enemy, whatever you want to call them.
They're the enemy.
So they've been building what's called the Belt and Road Initiative. Trump's been working on what's called the IMEC corridor, I believe. You familiar with this? The IMEC, the India, that's why we're aligning more with India now. The Middle East, that's why Trump's making peace in the Middle East. We're going to have peace. And then Europe, the IMEC corridor. So China is building the Belt and Road Initiative, basically built on debt. I think they've basically saddled half of Africa with debt.
Correct.
And you know that, economic confessions of an economic hitman that we spoke to many years ago. So they're the big losers because they're just going to be saddled with debt. And what Trump is building with this IMEC corridor on that side of the world, on the Eastern Hemisphere, is this basically super mega trade highway between India, the Middle East. That's why he wants to have the Abraham Accords and then ship everything off to Europe. But this is built on trust and alliances, where China's built on debt and basically taking down your enemy.
Yeah.
I think the bottom.
Go ahead, Tom.
I'm sorry, Pat.
No, go for it.
I think the bottom line here is national security has got 2 components: economic security and defensive security. Panama Canal is economic security. Greenland is defensive security, and it's pretty straightforward.
So Pat, what do you do? What do you do if you're Trump? What as the president right now, with everything that he's doing, with Greenland, with Venezuela, with everything? If you're the president, what's your position?
You want to know what the biggest fear is? So, when you build a company, you start a company, and you feel comfortable with the way you negotiate and you drive things, then your mindset becomes, how long does it take for people to negotiate the way I negotiate? In PHP, Maral can negotiate like me. Tikrin can negotiate like me. Tom knows how to negotiate. But that's about it to negotiate that way. Okay, and that took years to get to that level of negotiation. Okay, so when you leave, you're hoping your existing people will negotiate in your favor, favorably, right? Yeah. Okay, then you have people that you hope maintain a certain standard. You hope they see your example, that you're still working hard, you're going in, you're not just acting like this rich. Look how famous I am and how much money I got in. Every day I'm just posting car pictures and stuff that I bought, and the whole identity becomes about lifestyle, right? Yes. Instead of standards and leadership to keep growing, right? The challenge Trump has is the following. He only has 3 more years left. Whatever he builds, what do you think the other guy's going to do? Whatever he builds, you have to assume whoever comes in after him, if it's somebody on the left, they're going to try to tear up every single thing possible. Lincoln was a 2-term president, not a full 2-term president, but Lincoln was a term and a half. Tom, am I saying it correctly? 5 years. How long was Lincoln in the White House, Rob? Can you look it up?
Depends on that.
I want to say 5 years, 5.5 years.
Until he was assassinated?
Until he was assassinated. But I want to see, what is the exact timeline? 4.5 years? A little over 4 years. 4 years and 1 month. So who came after him? Who came after Lincoln?
Frederick Johnson?
No,
right?
I think it's Grant, 2 years.
I
Two
thought
terms.
it was his VP, who was completely ineffective.
No, but who became...
Oh, the next elected.
The next elected president. Who was it after him? Who was the president after him?
Not Ulysses S. Grant?
Ulysses S. Grant, I think, did 2 terms afterwards. No? Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong.
I'm sorry, Andrew Johnson, yes.
So then who was Ulysses S. Grant? Grant was a Andrew Johnson comes after him. Who comes after
was
Johnson?
Andrew Johnson the vice president?
Okay, right there. He was succeeded by Ulysses S. Grant in 69. Yeah, because the VP takes over and then comes Ulysses S. Grant. In this situation, if you think assassination, right, closeness, that's like saying JD becomes president, and then, to me, if he can get a person that stays in for 2 more terms, then they'll have 11 years to make this a real thing. If he can duplicate the same culture of driving. And by the way, if you have to compare who thinks more like Trump, is it Rubio or is it Vance? Who thinks more like Trump? I want to come to you last. Who thinks more like Trump? Vance or Rubio?
I think Rubio has been there longer and has his own set of codified beliefs. And J.D. Vance was a Trump hater just 5-10 years ago. So I think he's kind of getting involved in the Trump orbit.
I go Rubio. I go with Adam.
I think Rubio has a little bit more credibility
guys,
there.
I'm going to keep saying this. And I think, Tom, you're probably going to say Rubio because you and I are on the same page here with Rubio. If a Rubio is able to get in and continue some of these standards, this hard negotiation that's not about, no, we should not mind our own business and just do this, and isolationist, which I get it, some people's philosophy, but it's not Trump's. Trump's playing offense.
Yeah.
Vinny, I think if they play offense, it could continue, but he doesn't have that much time.
No.
I don't think he has that much time on continuing this standard, this expectation, and this way of negotiation. Look at the way Carter negotiated. Who the hell negotiates like that? Who says let's do that? No. Let's impose. Let's take control. Because Panama Canal is not something that you're like, well, we don't think anything's... Panama Canal is a negotiation you're doing for how many years? The importance of controlling Panama Canal is for how many years? The national security of America.
Yeah.
For how many years do you need to control Panama Canal? 5 years?
10
years?
Forever.
Hundreds of years. Hundreds of years is Panama Canal.
Yeah.
There's some things that can be temporary. There's some things that's permanent. Panama Canal is permanent.
Can I ask you a follow-up question to that? You know, from a CEO perspective, whether it's a commander-in-chief perspective, you know, there's foreign policy and domestic policy. Look at what he's doing all around the world, combating China, whether it's the tariffs, you know, peace in the Middle East, doing what he's doing with Greenland. And then you have this domestic policy where he has to stop everything he's doing, this whole agenda, to deal with an ICE shooting or with transgenderism and all this nonsense that, in my opinion, China is like laughing at us, being like, ha, 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 ha. Iran is killing 30,000 of their citizens on a weekend, shut off the internet, laughing at us because we're crying over 2 agitators that were killed, rest in peace. How does Trump basically try to complete this restructuring of the global agenda while still basically trying to keep and quell the chaos that's happening domestically?
Yeah, so when you're building a business and you're building a company, I'll never forget in my second year, I knew what's going to create the most noise in the company is compliance. I knew it because you're hiring 1099 independent agents that are coming over to you. They don't have a job. They're just 1099. They got to find their clients. They got to prospect. They got to do everything themselves. So I invested into compliance. And while we're going and we're building relationships with different major insurance companies, you will have relationships that can go bad based on a couple of your own agents who screwed up, okay? In this case, let's just say Bovino, right, who was going around and he wasn't appointed by Trump, if I'm not mistaken. Was Bovino appointed by Trump or...
He was the ICE guy?
The second presidency, Bovino was chosen to be a high-profile commander.
That Tom Homan took over?
Doing mass deportation. Yeah, but Bovino is not... Somebody suggested Bovino that Trump brought him in because he's like, so he is trusting,
says.
right? So he is trusting other people to say this is the person for us to go with, right? And then all of a sudden, these types of handlings happen. That noise rolls up to the president. The noise rolls up to the president. He has to deal with it. Some of this stuff, the left is celebrating on the chaos that happened, but it's still a lot of noise for Trump from his agenda. You think he wants the ICE noise? He doesn't want any of this ICE noise. He doesn't want this stuff that's happening. Matter of fact, let's get into the ICE story. The ICE story, if you're looking at right now, is we can go to different places. You know, over the weekend, a lot of stuff happened. Don Lemon, who got arrested, then he went to the Grammys. I don't know if you saw the reaction he got at the Grammys. Did you see it?
He showed up at the Grammys?
He showed up
they
at the
were
Grammys.
ecstatic to
if
see
you
that
can
guy,
see this, if you can pull up Don Lemon reaction Grammys, the Grammys were going crazy with the way they celebrated him being there. I think that's the clip. There you go. Go back a little bit. Watch it. This is Don Lemon at the Grammys. Go for it.
Thank you, Clive Davis, of all people. Clive Davis, bro. Okay, good job.
So
good job.
You have to realize, Cuomo may have been right. What did Cuomo say?
He's gonna get
Cuomo
out.
said Don Lemon's going to be a martyr, and he's going to make a ton of money with this.
Yeah.
Okay? And so far, it's kind of looking like it's going to be happening. Rob, what is this? This is him and his...
Is that his husband?
I'm not sure who the other man is, but this is Don Lemon after he was released from jail on Friday.
Go for it. Go for it, Rob.
For their support. It truly means the world to me. I have no idea what's going on because obviously I haven't seen anything. I have spent my entire career covering the news. I will not stop now. In fact, there is no more important time than right now, this very moment, for a free and independent media that shines a light on the truth and holds those in power accountable. Again, I will not stop now. I will not stop ever. Last night, the DOJ sent a team of federal agents to arrest me in the middle of the night for something that I've been doing for the last 30 years, and that is covering the news. The First Amendment of the Constitution protects that work for me and for countless of other journalists who do what I do. I stand with all of them, and I will not be silenced.
Yes, you will.
I look forward to my day in court. Thank you all.
So
that is his husband.
This is Don Lemon saying what he's saying. And by the way, there's a clip of Don Lemon saying everything that's going on in America is the white man's fault. Yet he married a white man. So it's kind of a
who probably hates being white and
very
has white
weird
victims.
situation.
Same as Ilhan Omar.
Is this it, Rob? Is this the clip?
This is Jim Acosta saying the reason why Don Lemon is being targeted is because he's black.
Go for it. Go ahead, Rob.
And I'll say it right now. I mean, Trump likes to fuck with Don because Don is black.
Yeah.
And we just need to say that too. Trump is racist, and he's always attacked Don in racially loaded ways, calls him stupid and things like that.
Well, that's racist.
Why is that racially?
And it's disgusting.
Wait.
Disgusting.
He just made a racist
the
comment.
administration is racist.
Pause it, Rob. Go back. Why? So calling Jim Acosta just made a racist comment.
Why do you say that? Because
Go, Jim Acosta.
Why do you link stupid to black people, Jim Acosta?
Bingo.
Why are you doing that? Oh, are you like that one girl from Cosby that was on The View that said, what are we going to do? Who's going to clean the toilets? And then The View is like, whoa. He just did the same thing. Can you go to that clip, Rob? Do you know which one I'm talking about on The View? What is the girl's name from?
Raven Simone.
It's so Raven.
Raven, something like that. And
Raven
everybody on The View is like, what the hell are you saying? And that's the last time you ever saw heard anything from her. Are you seeing this? I can look for it as well, Rob. Jim Acosta just made a very. By the way, I haven't even seen that clip till now. The Jim Acosta clip.
But it hit you.
The View. That's not it. Oh man, you have to find this clip, Rob. You have to find this clip. What is the girl's name? The View.
Is it Raven Simone?
Is that it, Rob?
That's so Raven.
That is her. That's her. Raven Simone.
I think she says toilets. Who's going to clean?
Oh,
that's
right here.
the one right there. Okay, that's the one right there.
Well, that's Kelly Osbourne.
Kelly Osbourne said it. Okay, Kelly Osbourne said it. Go ahead, watch this.
In fairness, you have a very good point, though. There are a lot of Latinos here in this country that do agree.
Keep going. It's right there.
Is
It's about
going
to
to
come
be
out.
cleaning
Go
your
back a little
toilet,
bit. Go
Donald
back a
Trump.
little bit.
Be
Go back.
Latino out of this country, then who is going to be cleaning your toilet, Donald Trump?
Oh, that's no.
In the sense that, you know what I mean? Like, when I'm saying that
There's more jobs to be
in LA, they always.
So is Kelly
Look at
Osbourne,
Rosie.
not Raven
No,
Simone.
let me correct that. Yeah.
Come on.
Watch this.
No, I would never mean it like that.
Okay. By the way,
I'm not part
so
of this
pause
argument.
this. Go back to the Costa clip. Maybe listen to the way he does it and tell me if I'm the one that's over exaggerating here. Go back a little bit. Go ahead, folks. Correct me if I'm off. Go ahead.
That too. Trump is racist, and he's always attacked Don in racially loaded ways.
How?
Calls him stupid and things like that.
What does that have to do with?
It's disgraceful. It's disgusting.
Yeah, I mean,
What
the
a disgusting comment Jim Acosta
the
just
entire
made.
administration, the MAGA agenda.
What a disgusting
their
comment Jim
political
Acosta just made. Oh my God, Jim!
How do you really
Why do you link those two together? Wow! Why do you do that? Man, this guy must be racist. This Jim Acosta guy. Go ahead, Rob.
Jim Acosta.
Jim Acosta, exactly.
And do they say anything else after that, Rob? That's worthy
yes,
of
they call the MAGA movement and our cultural agenda racist here.
all of them, everybody.
The entire administration, the MAGA agenda, their political agenda and their cultural agenda are racist.
Right.
I mean, we've seen that play out in almost every aspect of this administration. So, yeah, I mean, but it's pisses me the fuck off.
Oh, sit in your basement.
With your American flag behind you.
And people need to stay pissed off right now because this country's not going to change if you're complacent and you just hold back and you say, well,
I don't think Jim at this point is big enough for the president to sue him, but it almost feels like he wants to be sued and he feels like he's not getting enough attention. That may come to him as well right there.
So, Pat, you were right, though. The View, she said, what she did say is that Americans make racist assumptions based on someone's name. So Simone sounded off after they showed a viral video that listed 60 most ghetto names. And she said, just to bring it back, we can take back racist and say discriminatory because I think it's a better word. She says, and I'm very discriminatory against words like the ones that we're saying in those names. I'm not about to hire you if your name is Watermelon Drea. That's what she said. She goes, it's not going to happen. I'm not going to hire you. This was Raven Simone. So you were
Cosby.
right. Yeah.
Okay.
She was on The View. She said that.
All right. So let's continue. Massive win. Tom Homan announces that Trump administration has located more. By the way, if we're still on Don Lemon, Rob, do me a favor. If we're still on Don Lemon, I want to make sure I isolate this concern with Don Lemon. So Don Lemon, who right there is making the claims that he's making, Stephen A. Smith defends him, which we'll come to that as well, Rob. But I want you to play this clip with the Hispanic lady that Don Lemon is speaking to on the streets, Don is trying to explain to him that these people are not criminals. They didn't do any crime. And the lady's like, what are you talking about? By the way, folks, brace for impact. Your blood pressure could go up a little bit in the first 20 seconds, but it'll level off afterwards. Go ahead, Rob.
Voter illegally is not a crime?
No, it's not a criminal act.
Okay.
It's a misdemeanor.
So why are they being sent back and saying that they're breaking the law?
That's the point.
Okay, as somebody that actually...
We don't know if they're breaking the law because they won't tell. There's no due process. Where's the evidence? That's the whole point. And if they are breaking the law, most people will say, okay, then they need to go if they're criminals. But if they're not, why are they being rounded up and sent out? Especially when he promised to deport the criminals. And now he's not doing that.
Yeah, I don't think we're going...
Misdemeanor is not a crime.
Yeah.
So misdemeanor is not
it's
a crime?
It's not a criminal act, no. If you get charged with a misdemeanor, that's not a criminal act.
So stupid. If it's not a criminal act.
Because we have different levels of crime. Everything is not the same.
Different levels of crime.
No,
it's just
we
different
have different levels of. I shouldn't say crime, but it's not. You're not. It's not a crime. You're not breaking the law. I mean, you are breaking the law, but it's not a criminal act.
So it's breaking the law.
No, you're not breaking the law.
The misdemeanor is not breaking the law.
No.
If you're speeding, drinking, get pulled over, DUI.
That's not a criminal act. Well, no, if you're speeding is a misdemeanor.
He is the dumbest person with a microphone.
Okay, if you want to qualify that, we're doing semantics. But what I'm
doing semantics.
What I'm trying to tell you is everything is not the same. It's all not one thing.
But is it the law?
What? Is it the law that what?
Is it a law to come over legally? Is there a law?
There are rules that processes that you should follow. Yeah, so you're breaking rules. You're breaking the rules, but you're not necessarily breaking a law.
Rob, can you do me a favor? Go to ChatGPT and ask a question. Is getting a misdemeanor a criminal act?
Pat, I can't believe. I thought that was AI. Like that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
That is real.
It's a description of a level of crime.
Misdemeanor is a criminal act. Okay, you can get a felony, misdemeanor, etc. You were charged under criminal law. You can be arrested, prosecuted, and convicted. And by the way, to close this whole thing up, and then I'll come to you. Here's Jasmine Crockett explaining law enforcement in her own way. Folks, this is, according to Jasmine Crockett, this is the job of law enforcement. Go ahead, Rob. She's about to run for president 2028.
That, like, law enforcement isn't to prevent crime. Law enforcement solves crime, okay? That is what they're supposed to do. They are supposed to solve crimes, not necessarily prevent them from happening, per se. I want to be clear that,
did you hear what she just said?
Law enforcement isn't to prevent crime.
you realize this lady, she was a representative, no?
Yeah.
She's a representative who wants to run for Senate. And she says, is law enforcement's job just to investigate crime instead of prevent? No. Law enforcement's job is to do both. So here's Don Lemon, who is a journalist, telling a Hispanic lady, which she seemed like it, that getting a misdemeanor is not a crime. And then Jasmine Crockett, who's a Texas 30th Congressional District since 2023 representative on the Democratic Party, telling you law enforcement's job is not to, catch criminals. It's to investigate them, right? That's what their job is. It's not to prevent it. It's just to investigate them. And anyways, Vinny, thoughts on what these two are saying here?
Okay, why, besides the fall from grace from Don Lemon, why is the left, this entire problem that we're dealing with right now in the United States, all the agitation, all the fighting, is for what? If you strip it all down, what are we talking about, Pat? What is the message? What is all this ICE out? What is all this Don Lemon? No, it's not illegal. What? Jim Acosta standing in front of the president saying, it's a caravan. Remember that? He's like, it's not an invasion. It's a caravan. My family came here from Cuba, or whatever the hell his family came from. At the end of the day, all this comes down to is the Democratic Party has to have illegals here to win. Plain and simple, end of story. They're pushing for these illegals to come here, get votes for them, no ID to vote. All that. By the way, to count towards the census, you don't have to be a citizen. It's just your body. You're there. They used to do this to me in LA, Pat. They'd come in my apartment. How many people are in here? 1, 2. Okay, they count the numbers and they leave. They didn't ask for my ID. They didn't ask if I was a citizen. None of that. So once you understand that, for all the people out there that are sitting there wondering, strip it all away. One side is platform is policy. They stay what they're going to do. They're law and order. They're closing the border. They're trying to get the economy back, which the last administration ruined. That's what one side does. The other side is just illegals. Come here. Mamdani, Sanctuary City, we'll give your illegal kids free health care. Just please come here because we need the votes. Look at the gerrymandering with California and everything. That's all it is. And I thought he was the dumbest, and then you have Jasmine Crockett speak, and then she takes the throne. It's so plain and simple in everybody's face. I think once everybody out there stops lying to themselves and they understand what the plan is, then everybody can move forward and understand what the game plan is.
Yeah, and if along the way you give them victims, then you give them fuel, and them as the Democrats. Exactly what you're saying. When you arrest illegals, you're arresting their voters. They need their voters, especially in blue states, because they're afraid of losing electoral votes. This is a much bigger, deeper case study here. Yeah. So if the illegals are deported and the population of Minnesota and Michigan and Wisconsin and New York and things go down because they can't flood in the illegals, then they're going to lose electoral representation in the Senate, and there will be more electoral votes in Georgia, in Florida, in Texas specifically. The Dems don't want that because that's going to make the blue states harder. So deport people, you deport voters, you're interfering with their ability to win future elections. And they have developed fraud mechanisms that is as organized crime as we've seen in Minnesota. And people can say there's no evidence of that. Yes, there is. And people are being prosecuted. There are 98 people that are currently under federal indictment in Minnesota right now. And the amount of U.S. attorneys is up there is increasing, that they're going after this. And so along the way, Don Lemon, outrage is their fuel. Victims are their foot soldiers. So now he violates the FACE Act. He absolutely did. If this had been, Proud Boys at a mosque, you don't think they'd be prosecuted under the FACE Act? Oh, come on. That's what's going on here. So now they use Don Lemon as a victim. They put him up there as now the patriot, and they make the FACE Act a First Amendment act. This situation with Don Lemon wasn't. This is where the Dems are much better. Pat, what do you think? The Dems are so much better, I think, and I want to know what you think, of spinning crisis into their narrative, and they are faster and better than the Republicans. And they've taken this FACE Act turned it in my opinion, into a First Amendment thing, and now they're seizing narrative. And guess what? The mainstream media is broadcasting it because it's on their team.
What's crazy about this, when I was on TMZ just this last week, and TMZ was probably not happy with how what I said about them with Charlie Kirk, because I was very annoyed with the way they handled the Charlie Kirk situation. But I was on there with Harvey and his partner, both lawyers, and we talked about this. And it was a great exchange that we had. I said, Harvey, this is going to get horrible if you think it's okay to protest in a church. Yeah, it's okay. I did it many times. Are you serious? Yes. You think this is a good idea? Yeah, they should be able to do it. You're serious? Yes. Rob, can you show what happened with the guy that went into you know which one I'm talking about, that they were showing, the guy that went into, if you just go to my Twitter account, it's 2 videos below, 3 videos below, you'll see it. Guy goes into was it a temple or a church, and he starts talking about ICE. Okay, a protester just went in. Okay, right there, Rob, if you want to make that bigger. Left-leaning, what does it say? Let's read what it is. Left-wing activist disrupted an event with
Jewish
Democratic
temple in New York.
Tom Sozzi at a Jewish temple in New York over his vote in favor of a bill that increased ICE funding. Go ahead. Can you go back to the video so they can see it? Watch this, folks.
You're going to touch me. Alex Petty.
He's reading the script.
Keith Porter. Parody Law. These people were killed by ICE this month.
Look at this.
You're going to throw me out? These people, 9 people were killed by ICE this month. And you're throwing me out while I'm reading their names? How dare you?
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
Go. So now you don't do anything to Don Lemon? Guess what? Hundreds of 22-year-old, 23-year-old citizen journalists are going to go to mosques. Then watch what happens to America. You know, when you lose control of a nation and a civil war type of event happen, you know how it goes? Like this. By the way, you know what's the best analogy to give to this? Do you remember, there's a movie that's out with Matthew McConaughey in it about fire. Do you remember the fires that happened at the Palisades? And we're watching the video. Here's a city that's on the water. The city's on the water. Houses are getting burned. And even though the city is right next to the ocean, access to unlimited amount of water, they still don't know how to stop the fire. How many houses were burned? 25,000? I don't know what the number is. God knows how many houses were burned. The moment this goes, and if they start now doing it, Vinny, in Christian churches, Catholic, then you go to the temples, then you go to mosques, forget about it.
It's over.
Because now it's about pride. Oh, you want to do it to us? We're going to do it to you. Oh, you want to do it to you? And then oh, you know what? Then they're going to say, all of this happened under Trump's watch. He should have been more responsible. Well, this is why Don Lemon's being made of an example of, because the last thing you want to see, what's the number? 6,800 estimate. Some analysis said 11,000. So to me, you know, it's a slippery slope that can get very nasty very quickly. Adam, your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, look, I understand why these liberals feel this way, because they have these big hearts, and sometimes their brains don't operate. I mean, we have to give Trump a little bit of credit. He's broken a lot of their brains so much that they could care less if somebody breaks the law. I mean, at the end of the day, we're a country of laws. We have to remember that we have a Justice Department, that we have elections, that when you win an election and you win a mandate, there's laws that are in place. I totally understand where liberals are coming from. They have empathy, they have compassion, they have human rights. You know, the one lady says, you know, you can't, there's no on foreign land, stolen land, whatever Billie Eilish had to say. They have these big hearts, so I want to understand that. I want to give them respect for that. But these big hearts have to operate in a framework where there's laws and rules and order in our country. So I'm all for compassionate conservatism, but it has to operate under the law. You can't run a country where one side just refuses to operate under the law. We have a border, we have a country, we have laws. If you want to question how to operate within the law, I get that. But the law is the law. It's the law of the land. And if you broke the law, you did an illegal act. We have to recognize that. So I understand your big hearts, but understand there's people that operate with logic and facts and order and rules and borders. We have to kind of come together and figure this thing out. And I hope people that with common sense can come together and figure this out.
And just FYI, Pat, when nobody's talking about time, I'm so sorry, I'll give it right back to you. You're going to know what I'm talking about. Besides the people and the public and the president, everybody, how do you think God himself feels about going into his house where people are trying to worship and surrender to Christ, and you're going in there to disrupt it, okay? God, like Jesus showed clearly, remember when the money, he took all the people when they were selling and stuff at the temple and he flipped the tables? He was angry because they turned the holy place into chaos and noise. He knows what he was doing. They know what they were doing. And I'm telling you right now, God takes the sanctity. You want to talk about sanctuary and sanctuary city? The sanctity of his house seriously. So that to me is the bigger picture. How do you think God feels about what you guys are doing? What they did, the Don Lemons. How do you think, Tom? You think he's happy that you're disrupting people? And little kids who are going to be traumatized for the rest of their lives now when they say church, they're like, I don't want to go because people might come in and yell at me and say that my father's a Nazi and he's going to burn in hell.
Well, I don't
think God cannot be pleased about all that at all. And the issue I was getting to is I think saying that they have big hearts is giving them too much credit. They have used the human right and you should, it's perpetual victimhood, manipulating groups to become voting blocks. And if you want to look at that and call that a heart, I don't call the black genocide, which is abortion, heart. I don't call the manipulation of people coming from foreign countries here and encouraging them to come here, but sticking them in destitute situations, heart. I call that permanent manipulation of voting blocks through manipulation of human conditions. I don't see heart on the Democrat. I see the lack of it. I see the conservative churches who are out there as missionaries and are reaching out into cities and are doing things. I see heart coming from Mormons, from Catholics, from Christians. And they're not Democrats, ladies and gentlemen, and Jews that are reaching out into communities and trying to do things for disadvantage when the government does it. That's the heart that I see. What I see on the Democrat side, unfortunately, and on the liberal side, manipulation of the human condition in favor of building voting blocks. Don't talk to me about heart coming from the left when you've had since Roe v. Wade, you've had this black genocide that they somehow have sold as compassion.
Yeah, I hear you, Tom, and I'm definitely not going to defend abortion, but I'll ask you this. How many liberal friends do you genuinely have? I'm not talking about leftists. I'm not talking about anarchists. I'm not talking about Marxists. I would never be friends with these people. How many just genuine liberal friends do you have?
I've got a number of them. Is this an audit?
I'm just wondering because I have conversations with these people, and my goal when I speak with these people is to find common ground. I would never tell a friend of mine, you have no heart. Just like when they say you don't have no brain or whatever it may be, or you have no heart, you have no brain. These are people and they have different agendas. Good luck telling a woman who was raped, you shouldn't get an abortion. So to me, yes, they have hearts. They might be misplaced. Their brain may be misplaced, but that's the whole thing. To basically say that people are operating with no heart and no empathy when that's exactly what they're telling you that they're operating with. So I would encourage you to maybe have conversations with more of your liberal friends and kind of find common ground. I'm trying to do that with my liberal friends who think I'm a complete MAGA crazy person, and we all know what MAGA felt about me in the past. I'm just a sensible, moderate, common sense person.
A lot of heart there on those ICE riots. Boy, I guess you're right.
Yeah, I mean, this is Rob, is this Billie Eilish here?
Yes, sir.
This is Billie Eilish at the Grammys. This is a message she gave. And, you know, maybe some people would say this is hard. Go ahead, Rob.
No one is illegal on stolen land.
So leave. Look at brainwashed zombies. What do they want?
And yeah, it's just really hard to know what to say and what to do right now. And I feel really hopeful in this room, and I feel
so this is her. And then also, do you have Bad Bunnies, by the way? By the way, when she said no one is illegal on stolen land, a guy responds and says, hey, I just found your $6 million house in Malibu. I'm coming to your house right now because apparently your house is on stolen land, and I want to come and stay with you. The logic behind it doesn't make any sense. What do you mean stolen land?
Yeah.
Then go live in a land that's not stolen, Billie Eilish.
That doesn't exist, though.
But the point, like when you make comments like this, and if you clap for it, it's like somebody coming here and saying, yeah, congratulations for you guys doing a podcast on stolen land in Fort Lauderdale. And the entire audience starts clapping. Oh, my God, what a message. I cannot believe PBD Podcast and the crew does what they do on stolen land in Fort Lauderdale. What are you talking about? Here's a Bad Bunny looking like he's been juicing lately, or his shoulders are seen very wide and head small. I don't know what's going on here, but go ahead and play this clip, Rob. Go ahead.
A lot of padding there.
Before I say thanks to God, I'm gonna say eyes out.
They have to do this.
They
have to do this.
By the way, look who's right behind him.
They have to say
behind him?
Yeah.
First, fillet the liberal God. Step 2.
Yep.
Yeah. I get it. And listen,
this is.
I love that you say he
This
has
is what?
to.
This is what?
No, what I'm saying is like Dennis Prager taught us there's a big difference between a liberal and a leftist.
Yes.
And a lot of these people with this Hollywood woke agenda, they're as how far left as it gets. But they're not real people. It's always the people who have benefited the most from America. The Billie Eilish of the world. The Bad Bunnies of the world who would be relegated to doing samba in Puerto Rico, who's condemning America. Buddy, you're famous because of America. You're here at the Grammy Awards, which is celebrating music founded in America. Billie Eilish has here on stolen land in America, condemning America. I have a problem with that. Like, these people hate America. They think America is evil. I wish they would take a step back and say, wow, I live in the greatest country on earth. Maybe I should rethink what I'm saying out loud, but it would go against that Hollywood leftist agenda.
You understand how out of touch, first of all, these people are? No, she thinks standing there and saying that is helping anything. Do you think, is she housing any illegals? Is she helping any illegals? And the most obvious thing out of all this is they never have to encounter any illegal driving their car, any illegal trying to sexually assault them or kidnap. Hold on, never. They're in gated communities, and when they leave, they have security out the wazoo. You aren't affected at it at all. And they think they want to go up there and go, like they're activists and they give a damn. None of them care. And you made a great point, Pat, when you said they have to say it. Their masters say, get up there, and that's what you have to do. Ice out. Ice out. What the hell are you even talking about? Okay, and I know you're going to get to that story idea, Pat, about the Yalasura. That's what this is all about. That's what it's going to be all about. That's it.
If you look at Bad Bunny's eyes there, I don't think he believed what he was saying.
All these people who are basically objecting to Trump building the wall all live behind big, beautiful walls.
Adam, we're the illegals in the house.
This is Bad Bunny's mansion that he just bought 2 years ago, $8.8 million Hollywood Hills estate. I don't know if you guys can see what this is right here.
Oh,
That's a giant
wall.
By the way,
why would he build that? Why would you build that?
I wish all these celebrities, the ultimate success in the world, I just have one request. Build these mansions, massive houses, big pools, 0 walls. And let's see how that works out for you guys.
They would never do it.
So Billie Eilish grew up in L.A. at Highland Park. Her mother was an actress, Maggie Baird, okay? And she appeared on TV and film roles and also taught songwriting and creative arts to Billie and her brother. Her father, Patrick O'Neill, is an actor and a musician. He appeared in television and film in The West Wing and movies such as Iron Man. This is Billie Eilish's father, Patrick O'Connell. Rob, you want to pull up who Patrick O'Connell is? And Billie and her older brother were homeschooled by their mother, which allowed them to focus on creative interest and music. Okay, and that's what they did. And so, when you hear stories like this with Billie Eilish, and they say what they say, this is the challenge, Vinny. Let me tell you where it's at.
Yes.
You know, there comes a time where you so bad want to be friends with the cool people.
Yes.
And you become an influencer. Like, let's just say you become an influencer, and then all of a sudden you're like, people recognize you when you go to a nightclub. And it's like, hey, what's up? Oh, my, I watch your stuff. You're like, oh, yeah. We got a text over the weekend. I responded separately with a long voice recording, and I said my opinion hasn't changed. I do believe that's what's going on. I'm not in the business of trying to be seen by Hollywood and liked by them because they're Hollywood and they're famous. Mm-hmm. No. If I like you, it's because I like you. I don't care if you're Hollywood. You know, if me and a celebrity who is very well known in Hollywood, we're having a conversation together, my position doesn't change because I want to make sure I don't offend their feelings. That's where we are. That's what we believe in. This is where I'm at. This is my position. I think that the Hollywood mystique, you know, that idea of, my God, you know who these people are, I honestly don't think it's what it used to be. It really wasn't. Go through the top 100 influencers today. Go through top 1,000 influencers today with the biggest following, and go back 20 years ago and see if they could have existed.
Absolutely not.
Out of the top 1,000, do you understand what I'm asking?
Yes.
Yeah. Out of the top 1,000 influencers on Instagram, how many of them are, give me a question to ask, are not Hollywood celebrities or famous athletes? Okay, like you understand? Like
that's the question, I think.
Yeah, because to me, out of 1,000 influencers on Instagram, if we were to do the analysis, I don't even know if the report exists. Okay, even Instagram. Okay, here you go. You ready? Estimates split. Out of the top 1,000 biggest influencers on Instagram, 15 to 25% are celebrities and athletes. 75% to 85% are social media native influencers, niche experts, fashion, beauty, lifestyle creators, gamers, travel influencers, and entrepreneurs. Guess what? They did not exist 20 years ago. You know what this means? Nobody gives a shit about Hollywood anymore. This used to be 100% 20 years ago. Do you understand the point I'm trying to make?
I love
20 years ago, you controlled it. You had a monopoly.
Baby.
Everybody had to listen to you. Oh, my God, I want to be seen with these actors and celebrities. The real people don't care anymore. If you are like, if I talk to Rock, man, I like him. He's a cool guy. He's a likable guy. But it's not because, oh, my God, you cannot believe this. No, it's just he's a good guy to talk to. But some of these things that we had 20 years ago, they had a monopoly. Can you imagine looking at these numbers right now, Vinny? 20 years ago, 850 of these influencers that you and I know and follow and hear about in videos, we had no clue who they were. They were regular. They would have been regular employees, regular business owners doing something. 20 years ago, if somebody was doing $50 million a year in a company, how did you know him? You probably didn't even know who he was. Tom, what's that?
No, I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah.
And you know what? When I was in college, there was one guy who had talked about lifestyles of the rich and famous, and he had one show, and his name was Robin Leach. I'm him in Hollywood looking at a huge, amazing mansion. But he was the only guy. Now they're on every corner on Instagram.
Can you do me a favor, Rob? Go on YouTube and type in mansion tour, and then go filter it out by popularity. Mansion tour, okay? And then go and type in filter popularity. Watch this. How many channels? Zoom in a little bit, Rob. Okay. First one, Mr. Beast. Next one, Agricultural Digest. I don't know who that is. Next one, okay, this guy named, what's his name? Ines Yilmarzev, 33 million views. Next one, it's him again. Go a little bit lower. Keep going, Rob. Keep going. Okay, Kaijai Family. Okay. By the way, again, 20 years ago, they don't exist. It's only one guy that was doing this. It's a very, very different world. And so the desire to be with cool crowd and cool people, man, that is like the thing of a past today. Today, you know, if you're somebody that wants to be around people that are critical thinkers, that have positions, that they're a little bit fearless, that they don't follow the crowd, that they're just kind of like, listen, it is what it is. This is my position.
So true.
You don't like it. This is me. It's hard to be that today. That's what's attractive today. Not all the other stuff. All the other stuff is a thing of the past.
Can I give you a different perspective?
Yeah.
Because I agree with you in part, but there's also something that I want to get your feedback on. So when it comes to acting, Hollywood, journalism, media, traditional media, fully on the same page with you, right? Podcasters are the new actors. Who watches movies these days and says, oh my God, it's just, there's not that many new big names. When it comes to music, it's a little bit different because music doesn't necessarily run through Hollywood. You know, remember, Diddy was in New York. Yeah. Tupac was in L.A. You know, Outkast and the whole Atlanta crew. Houston with Mike Jones. Miami, DJ Khaled. But there still is, like, I guess my point or my question is, music is a little bit different than Hollywood. Hollywood is more acting, where music is a little bit more fragmented, but you still need to make it in that music industry, meaning you still got to go through the top of the charts in order to make it. It's a lot easier to do a podcast or become a Mr. Beast than become the biggest musician in the world, because you still have to go through that gamut. That's my opinion. I don't know.
But you want a great case study of what you're talking about? 2024 election, Kamala Harris, Taylor Swift told over 450 million followers on all platforms, vote for her, and nobody gave a damn.
It actually backfired.
It backfired.
Beyonce, Jay-Z, Oprah, it backfired.
Doesn't work, folks.
Bill Maher talked about that.
Bye-bye.
But
it's not the same.
I know you're a music guy.
Yeah.
Do you recognize there's a difference between the acting and media world and the music world, or do you think it's kind of all the same?
No, my point isn't about music or Hollywood or any of that. My point is, this is what's happened to their influence. It's gone like this.
Yeah.
It's gone like this. And so because they have a direct competition to somebody who watches someone and says, man, I just like, do you know Jake Paul has a hit that he did a song and it's got 100-some million views? Logan Paul's got a song that's got 200-300 million views. Who's Logan Paul? When you think about Logan Paul, do you think about a singer?
No.
I didn't even know they did music.
They did. Yeah, they both have multiple music videos that they did, right? What's the point? Anybody wants to do it. I'm in the car with, who was the rapper that was sitting in front of us? Was it Flo Rida? Who was sitting in front of us? Somebody was sitting right in front of you on the way here. I don't even know if you knew
Kodak
that.
Blue?
No, not
Kodak Black?
No, I'm talking to his agent, and he's talking about how much the game has changed. This weekend, one of the biggest topics was what's happening with AI agent. Humberto came and talking to me about it, and when he was talking to me about it, I was watching at the same time. Have you seen what kind of music AI is making?
I think like one of the top songs in the world was on an AI fake band.
Do you not think that's what's going to be happening next? Like, you think you're going to make better music than AI? You're not.
Well,
the direction they're going to go into.
That's messed up.
That's
messed up.
Oh, by the way,
music comes from the heart and the soul.
It doesn't matter. No, take the best-looking person in the world.
Vinny Oshana,
Take
right
the
here.
best-looking girl or a man in the world.
Tom.
Are they going to be better and more attractive than what AI can make it?
Of course.
Zero.
AI, yeah.
You don't compete with AI.
Wow.
Take the best looking. You know how some of these videos pop up and a girl's walking by? They're like, wow, she's beautiful. And it's like, it's AI.
Yeah.
It's not a girl walking by. It's AI. It's your imagination. That does not exist. Wait till AI creates music and you follow AI accounts. And wait till these guys sit there and say, why the hell am I paying you 15%? We don't need you anymore, Mr. Musician. You're awesome. Maybe we need a face for concerts, but I'm going to go through this. No. This industry's changing. The
Pat,
game of
that makes me feel so weird.
no, it shouldn't make you feel weird.
But it's kind of like, remember the conversation
But you know
we had
what's going to
about-
happen to us? You know what's going to happen to us?
Yeah.
You know who's going to win? Let me tell you who's going to win. Here's who's going to win. We're going to fall in love with the people who have the courage to tell us what they stand for, and we're going to emotionally fall in love with them and support them. Because traditional music of this bullshit stuff, we're living on stolen land, you're going to be destroyed by AI. They will be destroyed by AI music. Wait. It'll take 10 to 20 years. It'll take 10 to 20 years. Why do we like Marcelo? Is it because his jokes are better than everybody else? Or is it because we like him?
Yeah. It's authentic.
Because
It's
we
real.
like
He's likable.
him.
No
Not
doubt.
because AI can come up with better jokes than Marcelo
For sure.
in the next 3, 5, 10 years. As smart as he may be, as great as he may be, AI is going to destroy any one of these comedians. You fall in love with the product. And anybody that can stay as authentic as possible without playing these games, trying to say something just because Hollywood is forcing you, you will gain real crowd long term.
Well, you know what it makes me think of, and I agree with you that we're heading that direction. Remember a few months ago we had a conversation about, do you want your favorite professional sports athletes, NBA players, to be robotic or AI or whatever we thought? And we talked about basketball players versus like a Formula One car. Remember that?
Yeah.
Where that's a robot, that's a machine, where we don't, like the whole steroid conversation. Athletes, like we want the human struggle, the human element, the human
that's
beating
why-
a human.
That's why
so important. We can't
don't-
lose that.
I think they're going to get destroyed. The fake people who can't stand up for themselves. You know what I like what Jelly Roll said in an interview right before the Grammys? He walked up and he says, look, honestly, I know nothing about politics. I'm dumb. I know nothing about politics. I'm just here I'll say something about it next week, and the world will hear what my position is. He's probably going to go on somebody's podcast next week and kind of reveal what he's thinking about. But he just flat out says, I'm not somebody that you should take political advice from. Guess what? And now Jelly Roll could flip next week and give a ICE message that is negative and call out the president and stuff like that. But here's Jelly Roll. Go ahead.
People shouldn't care to hear my opinion, man. You know, I'm a dumb redneck. I haven't watched enough. I didn't have a phone for 18 months. I've had one for 4 months and don't have social media. I hate to be the artist that's that aloof, but I've become so disconnected from what's happening. And I'm just not I grew up in a house of like insane pandemonium and like I didn't even know politics were fucking real until I was in my mid-20s in jail.
But watch how he finishes.
That's how disconnected. When you grow up in a drug addict household, you think we like have common calls about what's happening in world politics? Like we're just trying to find a way to survive, man. You know
what?
And I have a lot to say about it, and I'm going to in the next week, and everybody's going to hear exactly what I have to say about it in the most loud and clear way I've ever spoken in my life. So I look forward to it. Thank you for bringing it.
By the way, I hope he doesn't play politics. I hope he doesn't. Because right now his score of likability by both sides of the aisle is what? Very high. I hope he doesn't get pressured to play politics.
I wish more musicians followed his lead and just shut up and did their music.
Let me get to the next story. Detransitioner wins $2 million after 3-week groundbreaking medical malpractice lawsuit. Vinny, I'm coming to you with this one here. Rob, do we have a clip? I don't think we have a clip on this one. Okay. A jury awarded a young woman $2 million after finding 2 medical professionals liable for malpractice in connection with a sex change procedure performed on her when she was a minor. Fox Variant 22 sued both a psychologist and plastic surgeon involved in carrying out a double mastectomy on her in Westchester County, New York in 2019 when she was a transgender identifying 16-year-old. Varian, who now works as an actress and no longer considers herself to be a transgender, is the first known detransitioner to win a civil medical malp. There's going to be so many of these.
Oh, I can't wait.
Let alone take such a case to trial. Multiple outlets reported the $2 million juror awarded the woman, including $1.6 million for suffering she endured as a result of the procedure and an additional $400,000 to cover her future medical expenses. The Epoch Times reported Varian's attorney had asked for $8 million, a significantly larger in total damages, according to the outlet. Vinny, thoughts?
What a victory for God and another loss for the devil. This is such a huge win, but not for every parent. We've been screaming for how much since I've come to this podcast. We have been talking nonstop about this insanity about them taking children. Guys, how old was she initially? 14? 14 years old? Let me just make sure. Oh, at 16, she was giving testosterone. At 13, she was put on puberty blockers. Like, what are we talking about? They rushed a vulnerable kid into a irreversible medical decision without doing the work. No mental health care, no pausing and sitting down and talking to her. Zero accountability. Just rush. And on an older podcast, we did a case study on how much money, Tom, how much money is involved with this. That's why all this big pharma and all these people, they don't give a damn about your kids. There's no compassion involved. And this is adults confusing kids and steering them into permanent harm while they hide behind their freaking credentials. Okay, this goes against common decency and it goes against God. And I love look at how everything that we're talking about, guys, it's evil. Evil in the church, evil with these people talking about what they're talking about. It's just evil, and God keeps winning. And I love that. This is, to me, one of the best stories that's out. And what matters the most is the precedent, okay? The shield is cracking, and it's cracking before our eyes. The lie that no one can be held responsible just got blown apart. Parents were right. We were right. The kids were right, even though they were all freaking misled. And the people who pushed this knew exactly what they were doing, Tom. So anyone who knowingly steers kids away. What were we talking about in the back, Tom? Was it Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12? Any of you that leads children, these little ones, the Bible says, astray or cause them to sin, it's better for you to have a millstone tied around your neck and thrown into the deepest depths of the ocean. And Tom, what's the significance about the depth of the sea? Because God sees everything. Why did God say go down there?
He wasn't talking about how bad it would be to drown.
No.
He was talking about you need to be at the depths of the earth where I cannot find you when I come to bring final judgment on the world. What I think is interesting about this case, and you brought up, and thank you for bringing it up with passion, the first words, a jury awarded, and it was in New York Supreme Court. Pat, you know what it means if you bring this in New York Supreme Court? it means that the plaintiffs are probably going to appeal. And so you're going to go to the Circuit Court of Appeals, and it's going to go to the Supreme Court. Remember the name Varian. Varian. It's it's kind of a unique, recognizable name. I think this is going to be a Supreme Court precedent.
Beautiful.
And I think this is because they have to. And it was filed in New York Supreme Court so that they could get the strength of decisions. And I don't think she's going to get the money right now. What's going to happen is they're going to appeal it, then they're going to appeal it. And if this goes to the Circuit Court and the jury decision is upheld, then they have to go to the Supreme Court. And if it goes to the Supreme Court, you know what you have? Permanent precedent.
I love that.
That's what you have.
It'll be like Varian versus something will be the case that
and
they'll
everybody
study.
will say, hey, my 13-year-old, I got divorced. I'm a father. My crazy ex-wife did this for one of my kids. You see it coming, Pat?
Oh.
I want the Varian precedent, and I want these people held responsible. I think it's going to be a precedent.
Oh, Tom, it's going to be so nasty, so ugly. And this set the tone for everybody.
I love it.
It is going to be so ugly, so nasty. The videos of saying, what's wrong? He says, the Asian guy says, my son told me he's a girl. And who am I to not let my 3-year-old son say he's a girl, be a girl? These people were
captured,
evil to allow this to happen. We watch these things over and over and over again. By the way, you know what could happen? You know what could be the biggest celebrity scandal case? Dwayne Wade could be the big celebrity scandal case. Because his wife said, wait till he's 18. Wait till he's 18. Wait till he's 18. In the next year, 2 years, 3 years. You know this Ryan Reynolds guy that was extremely likable at one point? You thought he was a cool guy. I saw a clip with him, the way he talked to a kid. And it was so rude. And I'm like, wow, look how bad his Q score is today with his wife. What's his wife's name?
Blake Lively?
From
Blake Lively. Gossip Girl.
Age of Adeline or whatever it is, whom I loved in that movie. I saw Ryan Reynolds talk to a kid on the red carpet, the way he spoke. Rob, you have to play this clip. You have to play this clip. Ryan Reynolds.
He's
actor, tequila owner. I think he's now got a cell phone company.
I wish I had this.
He's
video
Hollywood
to
elite.
show you guys.
Him and his wife.
I wish I had this video to show you guys. Can you find it, Rob, or no?
Oh, you're looking.
Oh my God! So
he changed when he had some entrepreneurial success, Pat. And I read an article that he just has this huge ego, like unbelievable because of an entrepreneurial success he had. But up in the venture capital community, it's like, dude, you were born into this investment world on third base, and you think you hit the triple.
Where do you check on Instagram when you save videos? Where do you go to see the place where you save videos?
Saved?
Save videos.
Ooh, go to your settings and then,
this is it. Yeah, this is it, Rob. Go ahead. Watch this.
Oh, what's that? Hi, little guy. What's up? What's going on? I know. It's like I'd get halfway down there. I'd be like, I'm a monster. I know. I'm so sorry. What's your question for me, buddy?
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Let's skip to the question.
Why is there so much Chipotle mayo on your Tim Hortons breakfast?
Oh my gosh. You know what? I wish I had some control over that. But you know what I can do? I can send a strongly worded letter to the chef over at Tim Hortons. Consider it done, young man. What's your name? Liam? Okay, Liam. I'll make it downright vicious. But I'm gonna just say it's from you, though.
Any of your iconic lines inspired by John?
Oh, what's that? Hi, little guy. What's up?
I don't know. Like,
get to the question.
Yeah, let me tell you. I get with the question. You know, this scandal you're seeing that happened with this kid, $2 million, supposed to be $8 million. They paid a 1.6 plus 400,000. Watch if this happens next 2 to 4 years. Gabrielle Union, Dwayne Wade, and his ex-wife.
Wow.
You don't think she's calling a lawyer right now?
Of course.
How quickly do you think she's calling a lawyer right now, saying that if that's the case, hey, what are we doing?
Of course.
With what Dwayne did. And I told him I didn't want to do this, and that's documented. Again, these are the stories that we followed.
Oh, can I add to that?
That was being talked about.
They've
Go
got
ahead,
case precedent. Wait till this becomes Supreme Court precedent.
So this comes down to the power of equilibrium, and nature is healing. You know, like every action has an equal opportunity, equal opposite reaction. You know, Rob, do you have those Bill Maher stats? Tell me if you think this stat is actually going to change. Remember the stat that Bill Maher was like, we're just getting gayer and gayer and gayer, and everyone's going to be gay by 2030. There's a couple of these things right now. I actually think he's going to be wrong. Because I think a lot of parents, you know, millennials who are the parents of Generation Alpha now, who are basically, you know, Tico's age and younger, 13 and younger, are going to say, no. We're not doing that transitioning stuff. You're 8 years old. We're not going to put you on social media. We're not going to do that. This trans, this LGBT, all these things that happened over the last decade, BLM, Me Too, the LGBT movement, COVID, everyone getting canceled, defund the police, removing God from our country, and feminism, which has been the biggest lie. Something tells me that people are going to recognize how much this has failed America and revert to the equilibrium.
Could easily happen. By the way, Rob, can you do me a favor just to fact check me? Can you go on ChatGPT and ask the question? Ask the question on ChatGPT. Did Dwayne Wade's wife try to prevent Dwayne from finalizing the transition to their son?
And it's not Gabrielle Union. It was his original wife.
The original wife.
Yeah.
Not Gabrielle Union, but she did play a role.
Gabrielle Union probably encouraged this.
Not Dwayne Wade. His wife is what I said. Dwayne Wade's wife. Dwayne Wade's wife.
Ex-wife.
Dwayne Wade's
ex-wife.
Ex-wife. Yeah, ex-wife. Okay, so watch this.
I love they put a little rainbow flag.
Okay, so let's see.
The lady in Chicago,
yes,
I want to say.
There was a legal dispute between Dwayne Wade and his ex-wife, Siobhan, over their transgender daughter's transition, but it wasn't about stopping the transition. It was specifically about legal steps and timing. Their daughter, Zaya Wade, 2020 and 2022, Wade filed a petition in California to have Zaya name and legal gender marker changed. Funchess Wade filed a legal objection to the petition. In her court ruling, she argued that Wade was positioning to profit from Zaya's legal transition and asked the judge to delay until when? Until 18 years old. This objection wasn't framed as preventing Zaya's personal journey, but rather as a legal move. She claimed both parents should agree on such major decision. Ultimately, the judge granted the legal name and gender change for Zaya early 2023.
What does she argue that Wade was positioned to profit from Zaya's legal transition? Meaning what? The LGBT?
Well, no. Remember, he started
Hollywood career, his shows.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah, I'm so glad you bring this up because Miami, you know, Wade County.
Wade, yes.
Do you remember when his daughter or son, whatever it was, transitioned? He launched a business, a website to say if you are I think it was for trans minorities or trans colored people, and it was encouraging young kids to follow this methodology.
Yep.
That is dangerous. Forget about just profiting by yourself, selfishly. Him and Gabrielle Union.
Satan.
Translatable. This is it. A digital community and resource hub designed to support transgender and LGBTQ youth, particularly those of color, along with their families. So basically saying, hey guys, I'm going to be the Pied Piper of trans youth, people of color transitioning, but follow my lead and let me make some money off of this. Very weird what happened to Dwayne Wade.
I think this is a tragedy for people like Les Moonves and Harvey Weinstein, who have long used the casting couch to select the most beautiful actress to appear in their next film. With everybody transitioning like this, can you imagine the number of mistakes are going to be made having the wrong person on the casting couch and getting shocked?
Oh no,
they're going to be. And I think
Tom, that was the most hilarious, inappropriate joke ever.
How is Les Moonves and Harvey Weinstein supposed to molest people if they can't tell the difference?
Unbelievable.
This is going to just disrupt the entire. This is going to disrupt the entire casting process that's been in place for 50 years. This is how we do it in Hollywood, and now it's all screwed up.
Ruined it.
Let's go to California.
Tom wants to keep the good old boys club.
We'll wrap up they'll wrap up on this Newsom story. Gavin Newsom says he's burdened by the facts as he criticizes California's billionaire wealth tax. He's burdened. What a burden on you as the governor.
We're burdened by what would she always say?
Burdened by what has been.
Go ahead and play this clip.
Fashion. I actually seek first to understand before I'm understood.
Legs.
Sometimes. And I was burdened by the facts. The fact is, it actually will reduce investments in education. It will reduce investments in teachers and librarians, childcare. It will reduce investments in firefighting and police. The impact of a one-time tax does not solve an ongoing structural challenge that has been
He needs their money for 2028.
by the impacts of H.R. 1. In fact, what it will do is what the Legislative Analyst's Office said it would do, which didn't surprise any of us when they put that out. You would have a windfall one time, and then over the years, you would see a significant reduction in taxes because taxpayers will move. And that is what I fear at a state level. At a state level.
Right. So would you support a national
I think
wealth
you can
tax?
have. That's an interesting conversation. It's a challenging one too. There's some constitutional issues around takings. There's impact as it relates to the flow of capital. The impacts on the market, which are not inconsequential. If you told me you're going to have a one-time, where do you mark to market? How do you audit? Do we go in and find out for those that are in this tax bracket, when did you buy your Basquiat? You sure it was 1971 or was it 1991? Markets have adjusted. Where's the wine collection, sir? Let me look again. Hold on. Mark to market. Wait a second. So you haven't sold your stuff. But all these things, it gets complicated. I'm not suggesting, I'm not here to belittle it, argue. I think the imbalance, I said it, the state of the state, the imbalance between the rich and the poor is the oldest and most fatal ailment.
Pause it right there. Tom, why do you think he's saying this? Because he's making sense here on what he's saying. You got to give him credit. But why do you think he's taking this position right now? Does he fear the mass exodus is real and it's too late?
Yes. He's backpedaling, and look where he went. He went to Bloomberg for the Bloomberg channel, and we know what that audience is like. Primarily business, primarily high earners, high net worth. That's who's watching Bloomberg mostly. He is talking to them, and he is backpedaling his butt off. He is backpedaling like a free safety in a Tampa 2 defense. This guy right now is just absolutely campaigning. This is a campaign thing because I said, and I'm sticking to my prediction, I said that he and Ro Khanna are going to blame SEIU and the people that brought the ballot measure. Remember, this is not a state law, it's just not a state assembly, and it's not a state act, and it's not a governor's order. This is a ballot measure that is almost got enough signatures, doesn't have enough yet, but it looks like it's going to be there, and he is backpedaling, Pat. He is on here talking to this and just say, I was, what did he say? I was burdened by the facts. Burdened by the facts? How about be burdened by the fact that you spent all those billions of dollars on homelessness? How about be burdened by the fact that you spent all that money on the rail that never went anywhere? How about be burdened by the fact that you have an extra $2 on average on a gallon of gas in California, and people are paying more for gas in California, and it has nothing to do with the energy industry. It's got nothing to do with the president, Biden or Trump. It's got everything to do with the tax you have in California. How about be burdened by those facts?
Can I at least read a success of his, Tom? And I want to come back to you on this. Gavin Newsom shoots down claim $236 million program for California's mentally ill has only helped 22 people in 4 years.
22 people.
California's Gavin Newsom $236 million program to help those with severe mental illness who bounced between homelessness and jail has helped nearly 22 people since its launch in 2022. A recent report reveals Newsom's Care Court was billed as a completely new paradigm to get the mentally ill off the streets into treatment, with up to 12,000 people expected to benefit. The Daily Mail reported, but only 22 people have been sent to treatment over the past 4 years after a state analysis found that up to 50,000 could be eligible for the program. The 22 court-ordered cases were amongst roughly 3,000 petitions filed statewide as of October. Of those, only 706 were approved, including 684 volunteer agreements that never intended to meet the program's goal, according to Daily Mail. Newsom has denied the reports. Care Court has helped thousands of Californians into care to recover, not 22. Even under the most narrow definition, the number is 600 plus and growing. His press team tweeted, critics say it has become costly, bureaucratic maze that leaves families frustrated and desperate. Rhonda De Plaza, 62 of Concord, believed Care Court would finally force life-saving treatment on her schizophrenic son after decades of repeated arrests and near starvation on the streets. Tom.
So this is more backpedaling. He had to come to the microphone and talk about this because fraud on a nationwide level and waste, and this is waste, and there's also fraud things in California we can talk about separately. But this mental health crisis, this is terrible. They wasted all this money, and it prevented people like Karen Bass and Nancy Pelosi from getting the mental health treatment they so sorely needed. He's just backpedaling. He's absolutely backpedaling here on it because he's been pushed. This is the first time you've seen Gavin Newsom really pushed off of his passive-aggressive and, kind of framed. I mean, let's face it, Davos wasn't really good for him. Do you think Davos looked really good for him?
No.
No, it wasn't a good look. It's like, hey, dude, Governor, you're over here cosplaying as a diplomat, and it's just not going over well. And so that doesn't go well. He comes home, and we're now talking about fraud with billions of dollars in Minnesota.
Yep.
Suddenly people are saying, well, California is going to make that look like a munchkin. Right? And then he has to come out and backpedal with Bloomberg on that. Pat, he's backpedaling, and I think it's the first time we've seen him so defensive, but it scares the hell out of me, and I'll tell you why, because he's so damn good at it.
He's very good. Brother, his legs were really folded. He's so good with the
body language. Pretend you're listening on radio. He is so slick.
Oh, he's very, very slick. But and Rob, I just sent you a video. Dr. Oz, I think, or one of these other guys was investigating, and I guess he was really mad at him. 18% of all U.S. home health billing is coming from just Los Angeles County. Pat, can we play this? This was, I believe, Oz this past weekend.
Oh, this is the mathematical impossibility.
$120 million in a single year, claiming to oversee 1,900 patients.
Jeez.
With almost 2,000 hospice agencies, LA County has more than 36 states combined, and 30 times more than either Florida or New York.
18% of the whole country's home health care billing is coming out of Los Angeles County. How is that possible?
And take a look at this map, a cluster of 287 hospice providers in a 2-mile radius, some in strip malls, unmarked buildings,
Nobody's there.
even a wrecking yard and vacant lots.
Weird.
All of it is just paperwork. I could fill that out in Kazakhstan if I want and get a hospice license waiting for me.
And Dr. Bill, the government, $120 million.
Nick Shirley basically blew the lid off, and all this is happening, and Gavin their front runner has spent more money and absolutely nothing to show for it. There's fraud in his state. The taxes are the high. But guess what? He knows how to talk. He knows how to fold his legs. He knows how to put gel in his hair. That is it.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
How the hell does L.A. County have more people in hospice than the state of Florida, where we have all the elderly and retirees?
That's where I was going to. Explain that to me.
How is that even possible?
Not by a little bit, by 60 times more.
Oh, my God.
60, and I'll wrap up with the story, and then, Adam, I'll come to you. Nick Shirley confronts San Diego daycare. Influencer testifies fraud in California is likely worse than Minnesota fraud. Here's Nick Shirley. Go for it.
It's Nick Shirley, our state, guys. Look.
It's like a hero.
You don't care. This is my daycare. Then where are the children? You don't care. Where are the children at? It's not enough, Minnesota. You come here. It's not enough.
It's not enough.
He's in San Diego.
He's in San Diego.
Trying
like,
to
where are the
find.
children?
He says, "Where's the children?"
And she
says,
at
"You
him.
don't care."
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's out there. He's trying to find out what's going on with this $24 billion money that went to the homelessness, and he's going a little bit deeper into it. Adam, your thoughts with everything that's going on with California?
Well, if there's ever a Batman movie that's need a remake, they're just going to bring in Nick Shirley and throw up like a waste, fraud, and abuse sign in the air. Nick Shirley is going to show up like a superhero. But if we think that there's fraud in Minnesota with the Somalian community, wait to see what they expose in California. They need a Doge every single one of these corrupt cities. But back to Gavin Newsom. This guy is the most skilled politician, but he'd be the worst CEO. Only in politics can you just do all these things and accomplish nothing. If you're running a real company, he'd be running a zombie company. He'd be running the WNBA, basically. So his greatest accomplishment that we talked about the other day was what? Homeless initiatives, where they lost $26 billion. He could give a masterclass on how to basically talk and accomplish nothing. There's a famous song that goes, "I see your lips moving, but you ain't saying nothing." That's Gavin Newsom.
It's a good song. Maybe that's going to be a song coming out.
Maybe AI will make a better version.
And that guy makes a mockery of it. I could have been in Turkestan and filled it out and got myself a hospice license.
So
just shows you how
let me give a quick shout out while we're going through this. Yesterday was my son's 14th birthday.
Tico.
Yesterday was his 14th birthday. Proud of this guy. We had a great conversation with him. This was his best year he's ever had. I'm so proud of the growth he's had right there.
This guy in the
just
turtleneck.
hugging his younger brother in the nicest possible way. Robert, if you can go to the next picture.
Moments later.
Look at
this guy.
My little mustache coming in, Tico.
Pico, keep going. We got him here. Game of Thrones. Keep
got
going.
him hooked. Look
This
at this
is
guy.
him when he was a kid.
Is that you, Pat, in a
This is me
fedora?
Back in the days. This
chilling,
is
bro.
13 years ago, 12
Glendale,
years
what do you want
ago.
from him?
This is him as our firefighter
We
in
could have
LA.
used him in LA back in the day.
Yeah, well, he used to do his best at our house. That's
Look
him
at
and Brooke
it's
Senna.
No, that's
Look at
Senna, yeah.
Senna's eyes. Senna's big eyes. Keep going. This is Mommy,
Yeah.
Dilly, Tico.
That
We
was
were
in
at
DC,
the
right? Where was
DC. It's one of the dinners with the president at the inauguration. This is Tico when he was a little
God,
baby.
rascal.
Wow.
Keep going.
Look at that
This
stud.
is him hugging Dilly with Vinny to the left.
Is he taller than Vinny yet?
Not right there.
Almost there.
He's
And
right
this is
there.
with
Is that
that
Sean? Who's that?
incredible
Sean.
trick. That's Shawnee boy.
Sean.
Shauna's massive.
Total G.
And this is the family.
Papa
Grace.
G.
Grace has surpassed Papa.
Yeah.
And then Senna's in the middle with Sean and Brooklyn to the right. Anyways, Tico, we love you, buddy. Happy birthday to you. We had a great time. We went to this airsoft place that Vinny intelligently said he doesn't want to go locally here called Simple Airsoft.
Look like you got bit by a
It's
mosquito.
not- I have marks
What the
like
hell
this
is
all
that?
over my body.
What is that?
They're shooting
We had
them with
an
pellets.
Incredible time hitting each other with pellets. It was if you've never done it, you know how paintball is when you go do paintballing?
Yeah.
And paintball hurts. This hurts a little bit less, but you're going to feel it. Brooke came out of nowhere. Tom's daughter was with us. Ethan rocked everybody, although I got Ethan at the end. It
Ethan,
felt very
Mario's
good getting
guy?
Ethan.
Pat,
And
can I-
Sean was standing there hiding the entire time. He wouldn't go.
You don't want to get shot by
He didn't
anybody.
want to get hit by anybody.
Of course.
And I
He's
said,
an
Sean,
athlete.
get out there. Get out
Athlete.
there. I finally snuck up behind all of them. And rah, I got
Yeah.
5 of them at the same
Did,
time. Woke him up. It was a great exercise.
That conversation that you had about a year ago about how he was drifting,
18
how
months ago.
impactful was that?
Well,
He's
made a
completely
big change.
changed. He's a different person
You don't
now.
even recognize the guy. He's a
Really?
whole,
Bro,
he's a whole different man
he is
himself.
Yeah, he really is.
I can literally.
I've never seen a kid, because all my friends have kids. My nephew's his
Yeah.
age. All my friends have kids that age. I've never seen a kid, and hundreds of kids I know, completely 180 their personality. Not just their school, not just their grades, not just their looks. His entire
Physical.
exactly.
The other day, he did 54 push-ups in a row in a better form than I do. In a row, in 1 minute, in a perfect form. Anyways, it's my son I'm bragging about.
Yeah, well,
guys.
I have one
Period. I'm
request
bragging
of
about-
Tico.
We're going to see what he's going to be doing.
I have one request of Tico. Stop beating up your dad. We know you
Yeah.
can take your dad.
Oh, he's
I mean, just
tough.
stop.
Well, first of all, like when I first came here, I'm visiting the house. I'm walking outside, and I look in the bushes. Tico's just laying in the grass, and he goes,
Yeah, normal.
"Hi, Vinny." I'm like, "Okay." So he
Lying in the bushes,
barefoot, loving life. Didn't talk to me. And something shifted. Confidence, fighting, talking, engaging. I mean, it does help that the guy reads Atlas Shrugged. He's almost done with the Bible. He's going to read the Quran. He's starting to read the Quran. He's going to read the Torah. Bro, the guy, he's a book machine. But then besides that, bro, he'll just be a random moment where he'll look at me and be like, "Hey, Uncle Vinny, I love you. As a human, you're a really good human being and a person." And like, he's that guy now. And he's a freaking awesome kid.
We'll see what happened. Anyways, happy birthday, buddy. Excited to see what you do next. And then last but not least, we got a new show coming out. I want you to watch the preview of this new show.
Okay,
And,
should I set it up?
Yes, please.
All right, so Valuetainment Comedies, thank God, about to hit 1 million subscribers here shortly. And I was sitting in this diner. I'm sitting at Lester's Diner, and we're thinking about shows. And me and Pat and Tom, we're all going back and forth. And then I felt something go, "Hey, why not put a camera and then just record this?" So and Rob came up with the name Hot Cakes and Hot Takes. It's going to come out tonight at 7 p.m. And our first guest, guess who our first guest was?
Tell us.
Vinny from Jersey Shore.
Hey,
Vinny Guadagnino.
Let's see it. Let's see it, Rob.
I do think, though, that diners are the last American institution left. Somebody could be sitting there having a meeting about whatever, and then you could buy meth outside.
When Meg Thee Stallion was twerking for democracy,
Were you there?
I almost voted.
You did the stripping thing in Vegas, basically backwards, butt naked.
Is that Connor in the back?
And everybody's like, "Is she okay?" They're like, "They're happy tears." She's like, "That's my son's ass."
Did you ever meet somebody who was famous that you were surprised you were a fan of the show or knew you?
Probably Leonardo DiCaprio. Like, that's the first time we ever went out to a club in LA. Him and all his boys, like Tobey Maguire, all those guys.
Dude, that's so cool. Spider-Man's watching you.
I love how we were just like, I was like, yeah, I don't really go to church or read the Bible. Everyone's pretty chill. And it's like, you don't watch Avatar? Get out! You are Whoopi Goldberg, man. You're the right-wing Whoopi Goldberg.
I'm the right-wing Whoopi Goldberg. So So tonight, 7 p.m. It's
7
happening.
p.m. tonight.
Hot
Valuetainment
takes and
Comedy.
hot takes.
All right, gang. With that being said, have a great day. We'll do it again Wednesday. Business. God bless everybody. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.